until Sasuke and Kimimaro swaggered away from Sanagakure. No Sand Shinobi dared to stop the two of them. It's scary enough to have a Sasuke, but add another ninja who is also fully cage level. Under such circumstances, the deterrence is too strong. The Sand Shinobi, even the elite Jonin of the village, dare not do anything at all. Hateful. A Sand Shinobi is now in tears, perhaps because most of the village has been destroyed, or because of his timidity just now. The other Sand Shinobi were also silent. Sanagakure, one of the 5 great countries, faced the enemy's invasion, the village was destroyed, and Jinchuriki was captured. And these Sand Shinobi didn't dare to do anything at all. Why don't we have cage-level ninjas in Sand Shinobi, and these guys who came out of nowhere actually have cage-level strength? Is it true that our Sand Shinobi can only be the weakest ninja village in the 5 major countries forever? 4th Kazekage was killed by Orochimaru, Konoha's traitor, and now Jinchuriki is also captured by Konoha's traitor Uchiha Sasuke, Konoha. Konoha is responsible for this. Speaking of which, the Sand Shinobi were a little angry, and there was nothing they could do about Sasuke and Orochimaru's Sand Shinobi. But it is still possible to ask Konoha for an explanation. It's a pity that we don't have cage-level ninjas. Otherwise, whether facing the 2 people just now or Konoha, we wouldn't be as timid as we are now. A Jonin of Sand Shinobi said. However, another voice sounded in the next second. Who said Sand Shinobi doesn't have cage-level ninjas? Hearing the sound, everyone looked in that direction. Kankuro and Temari are here at this time. The 2 of them were outside the village when the battle started, and then the village was sent up by Gaara's sand barrier. There is no way they want to come in. Jonin looked at the 2 of them. Also is the blood of 4th Kazekage, although the 2 are also very good, they are already comparable to Jonin's combat power at a young age. But when it comes to cage-level strength, the difference between the 2 is not a little bit. Kankuro, Temari, you 2 may have hope to become cage-level ninjas in time, but right now. You still. Kankuro smiled, I'm not talking about the 2 of us. Saying that, Kankuro pushed away to the right, and a wrinkled mother-in-law came out behind him. It looked as if a gust of wind could blow her down, but this old woman was familiar to Sand Shinobi present. Grandma Chiyo, are you going out of the mountain? Hearing the question from the 2 Jonin brats, Chiyo sighed helplessly, if I, an old woman, don't come out and take care of it, Sanagakure may be down. Talking like this, Sand Shinobi feel a little ashamed. Okay. Let's not talk about it now, who took Gaara away? Konoha's renegade, Uchiha Sasuke, Uchiha. Hearing this surname, Chiyo, I have some bad memories, it's Uchiha again, can't people in this family make people feel at ease? Since it's Konoha's traitor, then hold Konoha accountable, why didn't they deal with their people, and now they are making a fuss about Sanagakure? If Konoha doesn't give an account of this matter, then Sanagakure will definitely not let it go. Someone tell Konoha, in my name. After Chiyo said this, all the Sand Shinobi felt their eyes brighten. Is this what it feels like to be supported and not supported? Although Chiyo is old, Chiyo has genuine cage-level strength, and the entire ninja world knows about his puppet art. Grandma Chiyo, if we do this, our Sanagakure may lose face in the entire ninja world. Hearing that Chiyo was a little disdainful, the current Sand Shinobi has no face. Still care about this? Although these words are a bit harsh, they are well said. The faces of the Sand Shinobi were a bit unsightly. At this time, Sasuke and Kimimaro, who left Sanagakure, were rushing towards a pre-prepared location of Kazekage. At the same time, Absolutely is reporting to Obito about Sasuke's battle. Uchiha Sasuke has so many surprises. Obito looked at him and said, let's talk. Ninjutsu, Genjutsu, Taijutsu. Uchiha Sasuke is not weak in every ability. It can even be said that it has completely reached the cage level. Using body skills to violently beat the tailed beast, I'm afraid Ying can do it. Hearing this, Obito frowned. It is not difficult to capture one tail. With Sasuke's strength, Susanoo cooperates with Sasuke's powerful lightning style to capture a one tail with ease. But the problem is, he never thought that Sasuke would directly use physical skills. He is very clear about how terrifying the power of the tailed beast is, and he wants to beat the tailed beast violently with physical skills. It's not easy. How much power does Uchiha Sasuke hide that we don't know about? Ju looked at Obito, who was already very surprised, but there was something even more surprising behind. Sasuke used two forbidden physical arts at the same time this time. The power is very terrifying. Even with the explosive power of this physical art, He may already be comparable to Hashirama with moves, or Uchiha Madara. Hearing this, Obito's eyes contracted even more rapidly. Just relying on physical skills, Uchiha Sasuke, it seems you have to be careful. While Obito was thinking, suddenly, Ju felt Pain's call. The seal has begun. Obito nodded, go. The seal of One Tail has officially begun. Sasuke participated in such a seal for the first time, gathering the strength of 10 people, and sealing One Tail into the Gedo statue. But this time there were still only 9 players, and Uchiha Itachi was absent. Nagato also didn't intend to ask. I don't know what Uchiha Itachi is doing at the moment. At the same time as the seal started, Konoha on the other side. Tsunade is really having a headache right now. Sasuke, why are you trying to capture One Tail? Isn't Kimimara's problem solved? Although I really want to question Sasuke face to face, but now I can't go away at all, and at the same time Sand Shinobi's strong demands. If Konoha does not give an explanation on this matter, then Sand Shinobi will not let it go. And there is only one best way to say it. That is, Konoha will solve Sasuke, and at the same time save Gaara and return it to Tsunagakure, so maybe Sand Shinobi will calm down. Think for a while. Although this matter is very difficult for Tsunade, it is Tsunagakure. In any case, it is considered to be implicated with Konoha, and it is also Konoha's responsibility. Fourth Kazekage died at the hands of Orochimaru, and now Jinchuriki was taken away by Sasuke. Both are Konoha's traitors, and Konoha has not carried out any effective arrests against them. It is indeed their responsibility to do so. Think about it. Tsunade could only sigh silently. It is totally unjustifiable for Tsunagakure not to give a reasonable explanation. Go get Kakashi and Might Guy over here. Soon Kakashi and the recovered Might Guy show up in Tsunade's office. Both of them were a little puzzled. They had a lot of things on their hands at this time. Why Master Hokage called them over all of a sudden? You two look at this. As he spoke, he gave the two the information that Sasuke invaded Sand Shinobi and captured One Tail Jinchuriki, and at the same time destroyed half of Tsunagakure. The more they watched, the more frightened they became. One person. Dare to challenge the entire Tsunagakure? Kakashi sighed. Uchiha Sasuke, the growth rate is too fast. Guy on the side also nodded, but it's not just one person. Didn't the information say that there is another ninja who also has cage-level strength? Even if 2 people can rely on the strength of 2 people, they can invade Tsunagakure, destroy more than half of Tsunagakure and take away 10 tails Jinchuriki unscathed. Saying that, Kakashi's face became very ugly. Such a thing will have a huge impact on the entire ninja world. Anyway, after such a precedent is set, all villages will come up with the idea of Jinchuriki. Hearing this, Tsunade also nodded. That's right, it's because of this consideration, and Mu Yi Cheng is indeed responsible for this matter, so I want to send you two to attack Uchiha Sasuke. Hearing this, the expressions of Kakashi and Might Guy didn't change much. But some thoughts could not help but arise in my heart. Seeing Tsunade's appearance, he just wanted to put on a show, and he was irresponsible for this matter, and he didn't come up with something that could appease Tsunagakure. Tsunagakure will not let it go, and even the old mother-in-law Chiyo has come out again. In this case, it's not okay to be too perfunctory. But if you really want to attack Sasuke, that is also not a good thing for Konoha. First of all, it may make Sasuke hate Konoha like Orochimaru. If Sasuke launches another Konoha collapse plan in the future, with Sasuke's power, I am afraid that Konoha may really be destroyed. The current Sasuke is only 12 years old, no one can tell how strong the future Sasuke will be. You guys. Take care of yourselves. Hearing what Tsunade added, both of them nodded at the same time. We know, Master Hokage, please rest assured. This sentence is to ask the two to put on a show, or to say that they must act well in this scene. Sand Shinobi can't see any flaws, and this incident also shows that Konoha supports the ownership of tailed beast. Any country or ninja village that dares to attack other villages' tail beasts will be attacked by other ninja villages. Doing so is also equivalent to protecting Konoha's 9 tails Jinchuriki. The two left Hokage's office. Tsunade sighed helplessly. Sasuke, what are you doing with One Tail? And Konoha will release the news that Hitaki Kakashi and Might Guy will attack Sasuke. Tsunagakure was really surprised. It seems that Konoha did know this time and they couldn't escape the responsibility. He finally took the attitude he should have. But this news was also known by other ninja villages. One Tail was forcibly captured from Tsunagakure by Uchiha Sasuke, and the specific details of this battle were also known to other countries. Cloud Shinobi Village. 4th Raikage looks very dignified now. Black Thunder. The lightning style created by my father. Why is this kid able to use? Mabui, Master Raikage, do you suspect that someone in the village has leaked this lightning style? This conjecture is indeed not unreasonable, but Mabui denied this conjecture. Master Raikage, this matter is absolutely impossible, let alone the confidentiality level of the black lightning style. Only you and a few people you designate can get in touch with it. And at the same time, with Uchiha Sasuke's talent, I'm afraid, he developed it himself. Since the original 3rd Raikage could be developed, then the current Uchiha Sasuke can naturally develop by itself. If that kid really developed the black lightning style by himself, then this kid's talent is indeed terrifying. Now 4th Raikage also has to admit that the name Uchiha Sasuke will probably be permanently recorded in the history of the ninja world. Kirigakure. Terumi Mei also sighed. Sanagakure has not fallen to this point now. It's such a big village that even 2 people can't stop it. Ching. Did Uchiha Sasuke want to become Jinchuriki? That's why he took one tail. Terumi Mei didn't know this question, but now she knows another thing. It's okay if it's just one tail, but if Sasuke continues to target tail beasts, then the ninja world is really not at peace. Iwagakure, the 2-day scale Onogi, Crazy Boy, faced the whole Sanagakure alone, not only destroyed Sanagakure, but also defeated a group of sand shinobi who couldn't lift their heads. Strongly grab a calendar. Black Thunder. I'm afraid this name will resound throughout the ninja world in a short time. A figure comparable to Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama has appeared in this era. Sasuke, who is still sealing one tail, didn't know that his name is being circulated in the entire starting world. Black Thunder, Grandmaster Ninjutsu, Taijutsu, Genjutsu, also has Mangekyo Sharingan of the Uchiha clan. The scariest monster of the new generation, Uchiha Sasuke. And when Sasuke's name spread throughout the ninja world, Konoha's 12 little powers, except for Naruto, all gathered together. Lee Locke, Tianshin, Neji, Shino, Kiba, Hinata, Shikamaru, Choji, Ino, Sakura, Sai. 11 people. They are gathering together to discuss Sasuke's problem. Sasuke did another earth-shattering thing. With a cage-level ninja, broke into Sanagakure and captured that sandstorm Gaara. Teeth said, clenched his fist. This guy seems to have become a lot stronger, but I have been cultivating crazily during this time, just to get rid of his shadow. This time the village decided to let Mr. Kakashi and Mr. Might Guy join forces to attack Sasuke, and I will also assist in the attack on Sasuke. Are you going? Tooth. Do you really want to go find Sasuke? Hinata is a little worried about Teeth. After all, Sasuke's strength is too strong, even though I have practiced very hard during this period of time. The strength has improved a lot, but it is still far behind Sasuke. Hinata. What are you worried about? Although Sasuke is strong, we have become much stronger now. Compared to Sasuke, I'm afraid there is not much difference. Talking Teeth seemed a little angry. I've had enough of the whole Konoha. When it comes to the new generation of ninjas, no matter in the village or outside the village, only Uchiha Sasuke is known. We people act as if transparency doesn't exist. Choji, who was said to be eating, also nodded. That's right, Sasuke, he has completely become the representative of our generation of ninjas. Shikamaru. Representative? A representative of Renegade? Originally, the 12 Shaoqiang were nothing, but with the defection of Sasuke, at the same time, the fame in the ninja world is getting bigger and bigger. As ninjas in the same period, they felt inexplicable pressure. That's why every day someone mentions Sasuke, a legendary genius, but no one talks about them. As time goes by, Konoha's 12 little powers hold their breath and want to compete with Sasuke. Didn't have such an idea before because Sasuke didn't perform too far, and they didn't feel too much pressure. But after Sasuke's talent was shown, the ninjas of the same period felt a huge gap and pressure immediately. This time, Sasuke has faced an entire Sanagakure ninja, and he is still able to survive. We are afraid to compare with him. Speaking of which, Shikamaru was a little worried. Maybe now they are not at the same level at all. According to Shikamaru's analysis, the character from last time, the guy code-named Senju, should be Sasuke, so he can't be wrong. What to say against an entire Sanagakure ninja, but isn't there actually a cage-level guy with him? Although Sasuke is very strong, relying on that ninjutsu, his strength is certainly comparable to a cage-level ninja, but he can't stop a whole village of ninjas. In Iba's opinion, it's mostly because of that cage-level ninja. The combination of the two was able to make such an astonishing move. It is not enough to test Sasuke alone. And now Sasuke is famous in the ninja world, just like Konoha's ninja of the same period, they can join forces to defeat Sasuke. Then Konoha will be able to regain his reputation again. And it can also boost your life. Thinking of this, Iba began to imagine how other people in the village praised him after he defeated Sasuke. But Shikamaru wants to see what level Sasuke has reached now. Besides, we only sent Kakashi and Might Guy to deal with Sasuke, I'm afraid it's not enough. Isn't there other people around Sasuke? It also needs the assistance of ninjas. That's right. Isn't it because of Sasuke that we can only practice crazily during this period of time? Then the village is going to attack Sasuke now, we should really go and see what is going on with Sasuke now. Shikamaru said. The others glanced at him. If even Shikamaru supports this idea, then it means that this heavy thing can indeed be done. Then let's go to Lord Hokage and apply to join this mission. Neji spoke. Tianshin and Lee also fully agree. Okay. Let me talk. Shikamaru carefully analyzed the whole thing. Sasuke, Sand Shinobi, Tailed Beast, Konoha. Now that Kakashi and Might Guy are sent, there should be other problems. Perhaps Master Hokage needs someone to help him solve this problem right now. Coming to Hokage's office, Shikamaru saw Tsunade frowning as soon as he entered the door. Although he was dealing with something, Tsunade's brows clearly showed anxiety. Master Hokage. Shikamaru. Tsunade glanced at Shikamaru. As Shikahisa's son, Tsunade naturally knew about it. What's up? Hearing this, Shikamaru paused. We want to apply to join this mission to defeat Sasuke. As he spoke, he handed over the list in his hand. Little Sakura and others all wrote their names on it. Check out this list. Now Little Sakura and others have been promoted to Chunin. Konoha's 12 Shaoqiang are all Chunin. Seeing this list, Tsunade suddenly seemed relieved. If at first she was still thinking about what ninja should be sent to assist Kakashi and Might Guy. So now Shikamaru's spontaneous action has indeed helped Tsunade solve a problem. If a powerful ninja is sent, it will be against her will. She just wants to act in a play, but this kind of thing can't be said clearly. Sand Shinobi will not be satisfied if the ninja sent is too weak. The compromise is to send ninjas who look very strong, but are actually not too strong. And Shikamaru seems to be just such a character. That's Uchiha Sasuke, I don't need to say how strong he is. Shikamaru nodded. We know very well that as our former companions, we also want to try to persuade Sasuke to see if he is willing to return to Konoha. Hearing this, Tsunade nodded. Okay. I can agree with you to join this mission. Get ready now, Kakashi and Might Guy are ready to go. Your mission this time is mainly to rescue Gaara, and the second is to crusade against Uchiha Sasuke. The mission's primary target is Sand Shinobi's one-tailed Jinchuriki. Hearing this, although Tsunade didn't say it clearly, Shikamaru already understood. In other words, as long as Gaara is rescued, the mission is considered a success, and it doesn't matter if Uchiha Sasuke is let go. This is what Tsunade means. Shikamaru smiled and sure enough he was right. Hokage-sama, don't worry, we will try our best to persuade Sasuke to return to Konoha. Try to convince? Tsunade also heard Shikamaru's implication, that is, they can't be persuaded and they won't do it. Go. Shikamaru nodded and left Hokage's office. This time Konoha teamed up with Sand Shinobi to attack Uchiha Sasuke and rescue one-tailed Jinchuriki Gaara at the fastest speed. And Sasuke is nowhere to be found. However, there is the existence of the Aburame family, and Kakashi found a forehead protector from Sasuke that Sasuke once wore. Sasuke's location can be searched by smell. The first phase of the mission to find Uchiha Sasuke has officially begun. At this moment, Sasuke is assisting in sealing one-tailed chakra. I always feel someone is talking about me. Sasuke murmured. One more person is different. The speed of sealing the tailed beast is much faster. Hidan said. Looking at Sasuke with a look that you were very nice and I appreciate it. Sasuke directly chose to ignore this, but instead of getting angry, Hidan grinned. Hidan has grown impatient with Kakuzu, but Uchiha Sasuke is not the same. The blood successor limit of the Uchiha family is a power that the entire ninja world is eager to get, although Hidan doesn't care about the richness of the blood succession limit. But it would be nice to have a chance to kill Sasuke. Concentrate on being an idiot, now is the time to seal the tail beast, don't distract me. Seeing that Hidan took the initiative to talk to Sasuke, Kakuzu was quite upset, and cursed directly. And being scolded for no reason, Hidan naturally couldn't let it go. The two of them started bickering right here. No wonder the so-called undead duo die the fastest, it's better to die directly. Deidara felt like his ears were getting calloused listening to the bickering between the two. Let's talk about the leader. One Tail has caught it, and it should be Erway's turn next. Why don't we leave Erway's capture task to us? As he spoke, he glanced at Chie beside him. Senior, what do you think? Scorpion curled his lips in disdain. HMPH. Trouble. Senior, this shouldn't be a big deal to you. I also want to take a closer look at your art. It seemed that Deidara was a little happy with what Deidara said, but Chie didn't object. And not speaking against it means agreeing. Boss. How is it? Don't worry, leave it to us. Don't worry, we will definitely bring Erway back intact. Deidara looked at Pain expectantly, but for Deidara's question. Pain was silent for a long time before slowly opening his mouth. Seal One Tail first. This time there is a lot of commotion. Even if you want to take action, you have to wait for a while. Hearing this answer, Deidara was a little disappointed. There's no need to wait. Let's grab Erway quietly, and there won't be any trouble. Deidara doesn't seem to want to give up just yet. Sasuke, however, laughed. Too much movement? This time it is a question for Nagato to consider. This guy wants to see the reactions of various ninja villages. It would be better if he could start a war, but maybe he didn't want to start a war between ninja villages. And maybe this guy is very contradictory in his heart now. But when it comes to Erway, it is Jinchuriki from Cloud Shinobi Village. If you want to attack Erway, then Sasuke can take advantage of the opportunity to find 8 tails. After all, it's time to complete the fateful event. I also want to participate in Erway's arrest. Sasuke spoke suddenly. Hearing this, Pain turned his head and looked at Sasuke strangely. Why does this guy seem to be very interested in catching tailed beasts? Does this guy really approve of the philosophy of the Shao organization? Maybe there is such a possibility, but Nagato thinks there should be another reason. But if Sasuke wants to take part in Erway's capture, then that's another matter. Since this is the case, then you all go. Wait until the One Tail seal is over. Sasuke's words work so well. Everyone else glanced at Sasuke in surprise. Why did they suddenly feel as if the leader liked Sasuke very much? Also, to Sasuke single-handedly able to break into Sanagakure and take one-tailed Jinchuriki out of the gate in front of so many Sand Shinobi. Such combat power is an extremely important part of the entire Akatsuki organization. So, it is normal for the leader to treat Sasuke differently. But now Hidan and Kakuzu can't sit still. Then since Erway started capturing, let's capture 3 tails. When Hidan said this, he gave Sasuke a visibly provocative look. As if wanting to compete with Sasuke to catch the tail beast first. Sasuke was speechless. This Hidan is an idiot, nothing boring. Who wants to conduct such a boring competition with you? Are you crazy? Yes, but the trail of 3 tails is still unknown. Let's find 3 tails first. Speaking of it, Nagato is also very curious. He never followed 3 tails before, although he did not monitor closely. But it is always possible to roughly lock the position of 3. But now, 3 tails seems to have disappeared suddenly, and 3 tails is also an indispensable part to complete the plan. So, sending Hidan and Kakuzu to investigate the 3 tails situation ahead of time would also work. So, Sasuke wants to act with us in Erway's capture operation? Deidara looked at Sasuke excitedly. Speaking of which, Sasuke's lightning style is also an extremely perfect art in Deidara's eyes. Not only lightning style, but Sasuke is the existence of Grandmaster 5 style ninjutsu. Konoha is a genius. He also wants to compare with Sasuke to see who is more genius. 3 people. How troublesome. Scorpion feels very uncomfortable, and acting with Deidara, a talkative person, has already made him feel extremely troublesome. Also add Uchiha Sasuke, don't know how bad it will be then. But it seems that Sasuke is not very talkative, he should be quieter. Pain. Concentrate on sealing the tailed beast. The Crusade team triggered from Konoha, with Kakashi as the captain and Might Guy as the vice captain, is also the main force against Sasuke. Cooperate with Chunin 11. Small Sakura and Hinata in charge of medical treatment. Shikamaru in charge of intelligence gathering, Sai. Shino, Neji, Kiba in charge of tracking, in charge of battle support, Choji and Ino, Lilac. The plastic surgery of the Crusade team can be said to be quite luxurious. Even if Sand Shinobi saw it, he could only say that Konoha attached great importance to this task. Kakashi led everyone quickly towards Sanagakure, while talking about various situations of this mission on the way. Now we need to go to Sanagakure as fast as possible, and join Sand Shinobi's ninja round to find Sasuke together. At the same time, Sand Shinobi has started to search for Sasuke. Although the location of Sasuke has not been confirmed, the approximate area has been locked. In order to prevent Sasuke from leaving the target area, we will go full speed from now on. Rush to Sanagakure as quickly as possible, so that we can search and track more accurately. After speaking, Kakashi looked back at these little ghosts. As ninjas of the same period, you should be very aware of Sasuke's unendowed. So this time, everyone cheers me up, because Kakashi and others stepped up the time to hurry. Along the way, constantly supplement chakra with special Binglang pills. It took only about half a day to reach the location of Sanagakure successfully. When he came here, Kakashi looked at the fully armed Sand Shinobi team. The number of people is also around 10 people. And these people's aura is very strong, they are all obviously at the level of Jonin. Of course, this is also normal, after all, One-Tail Shukaku can be said to be Sanagakure's baby. It would be too bad to lose the baby. But what surprised Kakashi the most about this elite Sand Shinobi squad is, "You kid looks familiar. What's your name?" The other party asked himself directly, and Kakashi felt the other party's breath. Although he is old, this aura is obviously the aura that can only be possessed after experiencing the baptism of the war. Kakashi quickly replied, "My name is Hitaki Kakashi, and I am the captain of the Konoha Crusade." Hitaki Kakashi. Oh. It's the copy ninja called Konoha Technician who copied thousands of ninjutsu. Hey. Yes. Being told by a senior, Kakashi is still a little embarrassed. Not bad. It seems that Konoha didn't take our words as a deaf ear. Saying that, Chio turned his head and looked to the other side, looking at Might Guy. "What's your name again?" "Senior, my name is Might Guy." Hearing this, Chio was stunned for a moment. A blue beast. Not bad, very good. Konoha is willing to take charge, that's the best situation. A Hitaki Kakashi and a Might Guy, although these two people may be a little bit away from the real cage-level ninja. But the combination of two people is not something that ordinary cage-level ninjas can stop. It is considered that Konoha did not steal, rape and play tricks. Chio originally wanted to lose her temper so that Konoha would know who was responsible for what happened this time. However, after seeing Kakashi and Might Guy appear, she couldn't keep getting angry anymore. If the other party refuses to contribute because of this, it will be bad. Chio said and looked at the group of little ghosts following Kakashi and Might Guy. Although at first glance, they all look like brats. But feel the breath of these little ghosts carefully, the chakra volume has been raised to the level of Chunin. The strength is very good. Not to mention the Uchiha Sasuke they are talking about, even this group of Konoha little ghosts are all extraordinary. Is Konoha the only cradle of geniuses? For some reason, Chio suddenly felt a little helpless. Maybe Sand Shinobi has really fallen. This matter cannot be changed by Chio. She could only sigh silently. This is Chio-sama from our village. Seeing that Kakashi didn't know how to address it, Jonin on the side offered to help make an introduction. Kakashi nodded. Chio. That puppeteer with 10 fingers. He used to be a ninja on par with Hanzo. No wonder the momentum is so amazing. Master Chio, without further ado, let's start searching for Gaara now. When Yan Chio nodded, you can arrange these things yourself. In short, act as soon as possible. Kakashi and another Jonin began to discuss. Now that we have merged with Sand Shinobi, the next step is to go to the target area. A search by Sand Shinobi to determine where Sasuke last disappeared. In fact, the land of the wind in the land of fire, a minister of the forest of the land of rain at the junction. And the range of this forest is very wide. It is not easy to find Sasuke quickly with the current lineup, and if the opponent continues to move, then it will make the search more difficult, and Jonin from Sand Shinobi is very upset about this. Although we are basically ninjas with the perception ability of Grandmaster this time, and also have some tracking ability, it is very difficult to find Gaara or Sasuke in a short time. At the same time, the other party is at least 2 people. If Gaara is taken to another place by the other party, our search will be even more difficult. Kakashi nodded. In that case, why don't we search separately? We are responsible for searching for Sasuke, and you are responsible for searching for Gaara. As soon as there is any situation, pass on the information immediately. We will do our best to support. Hearing Kakashi's words is very enjoyable. Meanwhile, Kakashi has taken Sasuke to his side. In this case, it is equivalent to saying that once the other party finds Gaara, they can leave first, and Konoha will handle the rest. This can be regarded as Konoha's compensation for Sand Shinobi in this situation. Do you have ninjas with the ability to search? Hearing this, Kakashi smiled, and pointed back to Aburame Shino. This kid is a ninja of the Aburame clan, and he has raised special bugs. It can track bids based on smell. We have Uchiha Sasuke's personal items in hand, which can be used to track. Saying that, Kakashi looked at Inuzuka Kiba. Ninjas from the Inuzuka clan can also help, plus 2 ninjas from the Hyuga clan. Neji and Hinata, and sentient ninjas, Ino. If Sasuke is really in this forest, rest assured that we will be able to find it. Hearing Kakashi speak, Sand Shinobi Jonin didn't know what to say. Should we be grateful or envious? It's just too many families. The Hyuga clan, the Aburame clan, and the Inuzuka clan, the ninjas of these families all have secret techniques that cannot be passed on to the outside world. Great help for a ninja village. Okay, then let's get to work. The search for Sasuke and Gaara begins. Chiyo took Kankuro and Temari to act, but Kakashi didn't find the target before. It also needs to be with Chiyo. After all, the two parties cooperate in cooperation, so they can't separate immediately after meeting. At the same time, the work of sealing the tailed beast has come to an end. Deidara looked at Sasuke. Sasuke, you are waiting for us here, we are not far from here, come and find you soon. Hearing this, Sasuke frowned, but in fact, he wanted to say that it is completely unnecessary. It is also possible to gather together near Cloud Shinobi village. But since this guy wanted to run, Sasuke didn't stop him either. At this time, the members of the Akatsuki organization disappeared one by one. And Pain stayed till the end. He took a look at Sasuke. But he didn't say anything and just disappeared. Sasuke is confused. What does this mean? And when he was wondering, Sasuke suddenly had a strange feeling, as if someone had entered this forest. Looking towards the hole, Sasuke squinted his eyes and looked in the direction of the hole. Suddenly, footsteps sounded. Master Sasuke. Is it over? Kimimaro's voice sounded, and Sasuke smiled. Ah, it's over. So where do we go next? Kimimaro, who had been guarding at the entrance of the cave, sensed that the chakra fluctuation inside had dissipated, so he came in to check. Sasuke looked at Kimimaro and shook his head. Don't go anywhere, just wait here. Wait. Just wait. Kimimaro didn't ask why. I glanced at Gaara lying not far away. The tail beast chakra was drawn away, he was already dead. Seeing what happened to Jinchuriki Gaara, Kimimaro seemed to think of something. Sasuke also noticed Kimimaro's gaze, and was about to say don't worry, you won't be like him. However, Kimimaro took the initiative and said, if Master Sasuke needs it, the 3 tails in my body can be donated at any time. Unexpectedly, he would say such a sentence, which surprised Sasuke. But Sasuke smiled. No. If you want the words of 3 tails in your body, then what am I going to do to save you? These words made Kimimaro feel a lot of early winter. I understand, Sasuke-sama. After speaking, Kimimaro lowered his head slowly. And this time Sasuke's feeling became stronger and stronger. As expected, someone has entered the forest. It should be the search party from Sand Shinobi. Sasuke smiled, just waiting for Deidara and the others to pass the time. One-handed seal. Lightning style, endless lightning pool. Beep. Suddenly thunder and lightning flashed, and Sasuke's surroundings quickly gathered into a small battery. Seeing Sasuke's sudden ninjutsu, Kimimaro immediately reacted, this is Sasuke seals again. Lightning style, network of hearts. The surrounding lightning was quickly absorbed, and then the lightning net spread. The flashes of lightning spread rapidly towards the outside. The roar of thunder and lightning at this moment echoed throughout the cave. Sasuke closed his eyes and felt carefully. Although the web of heart was activated without Sage Mode turned on, it is not a problem even if the detection range reaches about a kilometer. The 3rd level lightning style nature transformation has further enhanced Sasuke's lightning style a lot. And this distance. The crusade team that is searching in the forest has already entered. Hinata and Neji are one on the left and one on the right. They are at the left front and right front of the team respectively, and they can observe the abnormality at the first time with their supercilious eyes. In the middle position, Ino has been using Chakra's perception ability to constantly search for enemies. Both Shino's parasite and Inuzuka teeth are also constantly catching Sasuke's smell. Slowly moving in the direction of Sasuke, Shikamaru looked around. Suddenly Shikamaru seemed to feel something, but couldn't tell what it was. And at this moment, he seemed to feel something flowing by his side, but it seemed like there was nothing. At the same time, Neji and Hinata raised their hands at the same time, making everyone stop. "What's wrong?" Kakashi immediately asked in a low voice, and the might guy on the side also said at the same time, "Have you found the enemy?" Cold sweat broke out on Neji's forehead. He looked around himself, and at the same time looked in the direction of Kakashi and others. At the same time, Hinata looked around in astonishment. Even Ino couldn't help muttering to himself. "What is this? This chakra fluctuation. What's going on? What's wrong, Ino?" Shikamaru came to Ino's side, thinking that something happened to Ino, but after careful observation, there is no problem at all. Ino opened his eyes and looked at Shikamaru in front of him. "No. Maybe. Shikamaru. I felt a chakra like an electric current, spreading from afar, forming a huge grid, enveloping us. All of us in it." Choji couldn't quite understand Ino's words. At the same time, Chio and others from Sand Shinobi also approached Kakashi. They also stared at Ino and wanted to hear what Ino had discovered. "Ino, please be clear. What grid, what package?" And at this time Hinata said, "Ino felt right, I saw. Just now. A sudden electric storm swept over us, but we were not injured. The current storm is all around us, like as." Hinata didn't seem to know how to describe it for a while. At this time, Neji spoke for her and said, "It's like a spider's web, and now we are the prey to step into the spider's web." Kakashi's eyes widened rapidly. Thunder. Cobweb. A sudden electrical storm. Speaking of lightning style, now Kakashi can only think of one person. Uchiha. Sasuke, ×2. Kakashi and Might Guy spoke at the same time. Everyone's breathing stopped suddenly. At this moment, Sasuke in the cave raised the corners of his mouth slightly. "Yeah. It's really an unexpected harvest. Ms. Kakashi, Mr. Might Guy, everyone from Day and Grandma Chio. This lineup is really luxurious. Is it specially prepared for me?" Hearing Sasuke say so many names, Kimimaro frowned. "Master Sasuke, is someone chasing you?" Sasuke nodded. "I'm going to deal with them. Etc." Sasuke stopped Kimimaro, although Kimimaro's current strength is indeed very good at, but there are two Kakashi Might Guys on the opposite side, plus Grandma Chio. Although this old woman with a puppet seems to have nothing to fear from Sasuke's point of view. Still, a little respect. Kakashi and others are really completely overwhelmed at this moment. According to what Ino, Neji, and Hinata said, a sudden electric storm did not harm us. Instead, it formed a spider web similar to lightning, and we are standing in this spider web right now. Shikamaru analyzed. The three nodded. After confirming, Shikamaru swallowed lightly. In other words, we have been discovered. Sasuke seems to have developed some kind of ninjutsu to detect or perceive enemies using lightning style, and the range is extremely Choji scary. Hearing this analysis, everyone was stunned for a while. Take advantage of lightning style. Developing detection type ninjutsu, as this. Is it really possible? I am afraid that only Uchiha Sasuke dared to think about this kind of thing, and at the same time, he really developed it. Kakashi and others can't calm down now, and Sasuke's pervert seems to have become more terrifying. Developing detection ninjutsu with lightning style. It seems that this kid is even more amazing than I imagined. Chio said that her expression could no longer remain calm. Even people like Chio who have experienced ninja wars. I have never heard that lightning style can also be used to develop detection ninjutsu. You must know that thunder and lightning are difficult to control, and it is not easy to control thunder and lightning. So lightning style is basically a powerful attack ninjutsu. To develop it into such a detection type of ninjutsu requires more than talent. There is also the control over chakra ultimate, while the lightning style nature transformation can't reach an incredible level. I am afraid that it is impossible to create this kind of lightning style chakra that will not hurt people and is only used to explore rules. Not only Chio understands this truth, but also Kakashi and others. Inuzuka tooth clenched his fist tightly. Sasuke. During this time, how much have you grown? It's even possible to develop this kind of ninjutsu. Originally thought that Sasuke's appearance of leaving, presumably his progress speed must not be as fast as his own. And he should be able to catch up with him soon. But now it seems that Sasuke is still the same Sasuke, and the genius is still the same genius. Mr. Kakashi, what should we do now? Sasuke has taken over our position, shall we continue? Little Sakura wants to see Sasuke right away, but she's not that idiot little Sakura anymore. During the period of studying with Master Tsunade, she has also grown a lot. Continue. Kakashi thought for a moment before giving the order to move on. Although he found us, according to Sasuke's character, he can either go straight away, or stay where he is and wait for us. Might Guy doesn't know why Kakashi thinks so. But since Kakashi said so, he obviously has his own basis. After all, he has been with Sasuke for so long, and Kakashi still knows Sasuke very well. Then let's go. Shikamaru also agrees with Kakashi's analysis. For Sasuke, go or stay, this is Sasuke. Leaving means that Sasuke doesn't care about them at all, or ignores them at all. But staying is Sasuke's self-sufficient strength, and he doesn't think anyone can threaten him at all. Both of these fit Sasuke's personality very well. Advance according to the previously designed formation backquote. Although our position has been grasped by him, this lightning-style probing ninjutsu must not be maintained for a long time. He may not be able to grasp our situation anytime, anywhere. As soon as Kakashi finished speaking, Neji said directly, well, that's right, the network formed by lightning has disappeared. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief when they heard this. Especially the Jonins of Sand Shinobi, they have seen with their own eyes how perverted that man is. It would be too bad to be stared at all the time. Heartnet Sasuke does not need to be maintained all the time, because once the target is locked, then you can use telepathy more easily to know the location and specific situation of others. So the Raiden network disappears, but it doesn't mean that Sasuke doesn't know where they are. Master Sasuke, are there any enemies coming? In the cave, although Sasuke didn't say anything, Kimimaro has already felt the fluctuation of Sasuke's chakra. From this, he judged that Sasuke should have discovered the enemy. That's right. Sasuke nodded. Kimimaro raised his hand and clenched his fist. Master Sasuke, leave these people to me. Seeing that Kimimaro didn't even ask who the enemy was, he just wanted to go out and kill him. Sasuke hastily stopped him. You can't move, and then you have to avoid fighting as much as possible to avoid exploding your own chakra. The other two members of the Akatsuki organization are heading here. Once you make a move, it is very likely that you will leak the breath of the tail beast chakra, and you will be targeted by the Akatsuki organization. Sasuke doesn't really care, but Sasuke doesn't want to turn against Akatsuki yet. After all, there are still fateful events that have not been completed. Hearing that Sasuke was thinking of himself so much, Kimimaro's face became a little abnormal. Looking at Sasuke with even more respect. Wait here. I will deal with them, and they are all my acquaintances. I also want to do it myself. If the situation is really urgent, can you understand? Hearing this, Kimimaro nodded. I see, Master Sasuke. When he came outside the cave, Sasuke chose a big stone at random and sat down. Feeling the position of Kakashi at all, Sasuke frowned. This is too slow, can't it be a little faster? If you keep going at this speed, how long will I have to wait? For the impatient Sasuke, waiting is undoubtedly a rather irritating thing. Sasuke lowered his head and a flash of lightning splashed from his fingertips. Then let me speed it up for you. Instantly got up, Sasuke mobilized the chakra in his body. Lake High. Open. The roar of thunder echoed in the forest. In the next second, Sasuke opened his eyes, and a series of lightning burst out from his eyes, followed by flashes of lightning. Countless thunderbolts gathered on Sasuke's right arm. In the next second, Sasuke suddenly raised his hand. Lightning style, discharge. Crack. A thick thunderbolt instantly rose into the sky. Then it disappeared into the cloud. Kimimaro stood at the hole watching Sasuke's movements. When wondering what to do, suddenly, bang bang. The roar of thunder that sounded from above the vault of heaven echoed throughout the entire sky. The roar continued to sound, and the sky seemed to be dark in the blink of an eye. But Kakashi and others, who were advancing at the moment, stopped suddenly. Look up at the sky and listen to the thunder that rings in the clouds. Suddenly Kakashi had a bad feeling. Sasuke, who was still far away at the moment, raised the corners of his mouth slightly. Although this is not an independent technique, it can barely imitate this move by using Thunderpool. The right hand is lifted slightly. The index finger pointed towards the sky, and then Sasuke slowly lowered his finger, pointing to the position of Kakashi and others. Gods. Sanction. Bang bang. Boom boom boom. An astonishing thunderbolt fell straight down from the sky, and ruthlessly fell towards the position of Kakashi and the others. When black lightning falls from the sky, turning into a thunder column and falling directly down. Kakashi, below, stared wide-eyed. This. What? Boom buzz. In the next second, the black thunder devoured the forest. A deafening roar reverberated through the forest. The roar sounded in the forest, and the light spreads in all directions. Kimimaro, who was standing at the entrance of the cave, stared wide-eyed at the foot of the mountain in the distance, when a black thunderbolt suddenly fell from the sky. He couldn't believe what he saw. Lord Sasuke. From this position, the attack was launched. Where did the thunder fall directly? How far is this 3 kilometers? I'm afraid that the distance in a straight line is not just 3 kilometers. Such an attack is simply unbelievable. Someone can launch lightning style thousands of meters away and attack that far. It's just that I don't know if it hits the enemy accurately. But thinking about Sasuke's use of the heart net to detect before, then the enemy's position should be clearly grasped by Sasuke. In other words, it should be impossible for the attack to miss. Because Sasuke knows exactly where the enemy is. What a terrible attack. Not to mention the power, the ultra-long distance lightning strike alone is not a normal ninja, even Jonin can't do it. No need to think about how much chakra needs to be consumed, it is definitely an extremely huge amount. Kimimaro doesn't know how to describe Sasuke anymore. Genius. It's just a saying about talented guys among ordinary humans. As for Master Sasuke, he has clearly surpassed the category of genius. When the roar disappeared, the black lightning also dissipated from the forest. Left. It is a pothole with a diameter of about 2 meters. And there was black smoke. On the walls around the pit, red lava can be seen slowly dripping. This is enough to show how terrifying the power of the lightning style just now was. But at this moment, the sound of heavy breathing came from all around. Kakashi and Might Guy stood on both sides of the pothole. Looking at the dark pothole in front of them, both of them felt turbulent waves in their hearts. None of them had discovered Sasuke's location yet, and Sasuke was able to attack them. Black thunder. Don't think about it, Sasuke can't go wrong. Neji, with your white eyes, did you spot Uchiha Sasuke's location? Might Guy asked. Neji shook his head, no, it's out of my sight. Hearing that, the corners of Guy's eyes twitched slightly. Neji's white eyes. The current range is about 1 kilometer, and Neji can't see each other, which means. Having said that, Guy didn't continue talking. But everyone understood what he meant. This means that Sasuke launched an attack on them from 1,000 meters away. It can even precisely lock Kakashi's position. If Kakashi hadn't dodged quickly just now, he might have been hit by now, facing such a powerful attack. Even Kakashi would be seriously injured in an instant. It's hard to imagine. What kind of monster? To be able to achieve this level, launch an attack from 1,000 meters away, and be able to lock the enemy, and at the same time the power of the attack is so terrifying. Chiyo's heart was also beating violently. Uchiha. What a horrible fellow. Now Chiyo also used terrible to describe Sasuke. Just this blow alone can show how amazing Sasuke's power is. Definitely not inferior to cage-level powerhouses. In other words, if she is alone against Uchiha Sasuke, I'm afraid she may not be able to easily deal with him. And Konoha sent 2 elite Jonins, and now she seems to know the reason. It wasn't an ordinary elite Jonin, but Hitaki Kakashi and Might Guy. Because apart from the fact that these two teamed up to stabilize a cage-level ninja, I am afraid there is no other elite Jonin who can do this kind of thing. The rest of the Sand Shinobi Jonin have now begun to have the idea of wanting to escape. Is it really possible to win against such a monster? When launching an attack from a distance of 1,000 meters, it can also directly explode and send out the power emperor that instantly kills the enemy. Such monsters. They don't want to face them. From this distance. To attack directly, Sasuke is trying to make us go? Little Sakura spoke with a trembling voice. And hearing this, the other people's hearts suddenly froze. If this is really the case, then if they continue to walk, the attack they will face will be even more terrifying. In the crowd, Sai's hands are shaking slightly now. Original. He thought Uchiha Sasuke was just a genius. The strength should not be much stronger than him, and he joined the 7th class instead of Uchiha Sasuke. Also sure to be able to do what Sasuke was able to do. As long as he works a little harder, he will definitely be able to surpass this former team member he has never met. But now, this moment, Sai suddenly felt the gap. An insurmountable moat, even looking up is a luxury. Hee hee. Sai suddenly laughed. Others turned their heads to look at Sai, not understanding why Sai was smiling at this time. But Kakashi didn't pay attention to Sai, he raised his eyebrows instead. No. It's not that Sasuke drove us away, but... Kakashi raised his head and looked forward, which was where Sasuke was. The gazes of the two seemed to have penetrated the forest thousands of meters away and directly collided with each other. He thinks our speed is too slow. Hearing this, everyone was stunned for a moment. Too slow. Dislike the speed is too slow, so directly attack? What's the point? Urge. Anyone else use this method to urge others to speed up? Neji. Hinata. Keep your eyes on the front as much as you can, and don't worry about any ambushes. Kakashi smiled. With Sasuke's personality, I'm afraid even ambushes and traps are disdainful. It's not that he can't do it, but he disdains to use these methods. Because he doesn't need. Hearing Kakashi's words, Might Guy also felt a rush of confidence. Or to be precise, pride. A brat who is extremely proud of himself. At the same time, he also has the capital of pride, even the 8 inner gates have learned. This is what Might Guy can't understand the most. If there is talent in ninjutsu, it is not necessarily talent in 8 inner gates. At the same time, learning this martial art requires too many restrictions. If it is not a ninja who specializes in physical martial arts, he will not even be able to touch the threshold. Sasuke. How did it work? Might Guy couldn't figure it out, but he wanted to see it for himself. All. Full speed ahead. Target Uchiha Sasuke. Rustle. Salsa. Sasuke sat on the stone and looked up at the sky. Looking up at this 45-degree angle made Sasuke look a little sad at this moment. Coupled with the already indifferent face, plus a trace of melancholy. The lethality of this moment for women increases exponentially. And now, people came out of the bush one by one, surrounded Sasuke, but at the same time kept a safe distance of about 15 meters. Konoha has 12 little powers. Small Sakura, Ino, Tenten, Neji, Hinata, Lee, Kiba, Shino, Shikamaru, Choji, Sai. The only thing missing now is Naruto. Sasuke didn't lower his head, but still looked at the sky while asking. Naruto. Isn't there? Hearing that, little Sakura looked at Sasuke at this moment, feeling heartbroken, but at the same time felt that Sasuke had really changed a lot. Maybe it's because the current Sasuke is wearing Orochimaru-style clothes. Or maybe it's because of the feeling of the house exuded by the current Sasuke. Sakura opened her mouth and chose to answer Sasuke's question. Naruto. Was taken away by Jiraiya, and he is practicing somewhere. In order to be stronger and bring Sasuke back to Konoha. Hearing this, Sasuke nodded. I knew it, that guy. Still won't give up. The others watched Sasuke alone. The Sand Shinobi team slowly approaching from behind. Chiyo looked at Sasuke. Younger than she imagined, but also stronger than she imagined. An extremely stable chakra fluctuates, thick and full of power. Even just feeling this chakra fluctuation, Chiyo can deeply appreciate the power of Sasuke. This brat is indeed a monster. Kakashi and Might Guy are on the left and right, in front of Sasuke's right and left respectively. Sasuke. One tail. Where is Gaara? Sasuke still looked at the sky, raised his finger and pointed to the cave behind him. Inside. How is he? Kakashi asked, looking at the cave. Died. Sasuke said very plainly, but hearing this, Chiyo's eyes shrank instantly, and at the same time, the eyes of Sand Shinobi, Kankuro and Temari behind them were instantly bloodshot. You killed Gaara? Kankuro couldn't help but growl directly. And Sasuke lowered his head slowly, looking at Kankuro. Well, I just killed a part of him. Although this answer is a bit weird, but Kankuro heard it. Such an answer means that Sasuke admitted that he killed Gaara. Hateful. Absolutely cannot let him go. Bang bang. Kankuro put his puppet down directly, and was about to untie the puppet and shot Sasuke. And Chiyo immediately stopped him. Although she is very angry now, this is Konoha's responsibility, and Konoha's ninja should be responsible. Wouldn't Sand Shinobi increase casualties in vain? Kakashi was very helpless at first, and sighed, why? Why? Sasuke smiled. Why kill Gaara? There is no particular reason. If you need any reason, I can make up one for you now. Do you want to hear it? Gritting their teeth fiercely, Kankuro and Temari did not expect Sasuke to say that and killed Gaara for no reason. This is not taking Sand Shinobi seriously. That casual attitude, as if killing Gaara was as trivial as crushing an ant. Gaara is not an insignificant person. Sasuke has to pay for this. But Chio pressed the two of them hard, and they also knew that now was not the time for them to do it. Sasuke, I challenge you. After being silent for a long time, the teeth still stood out. Although seeing Sasuke with my own eyes and already feeling the pressure, the gap seems to be as huge as ever. But the teeth are not reconciled. The generation of Sleepy and Leaves does not just have such a day as Sasuke. Those who are also unwilling are Neji, Xiao Li, and even Shikamaru, Choji, and others are not very convinced. The power of one person may not be as strong as Sasuke, but if everyone is together, even Sasuke can't easily deal with them. Kakashi opened his mouth to stop Fang. But at this time, Konoha's 12 little powerhouses stood up one after another, posing a fighting posture to Sasuke. The firm gazes of each have fully demonstrated their awareness. Kakashi didn't know whether to stop or not. If he stops the things he has made up his mind to, these children will always have a regret in their hearts. Sasuke felt funny at this time. Looking at the appearance of the little Sakuras, it seems that they are all prepared. Compared with the last Chunin exam, they have become stronger. But wanting to challenge yourself is not enough. Sasuke smiled softly, turning his gaze to Kakashi. Suddenly Sasuke frowned slightly. Ms. Kakashi. Finally. Teach me one more time. Suddenly Sasuke said this. Everyone present was stunned. Teach one last time. Teach what? Even Kakashi himself was a little confused. What does Sasuke want to teach himself? Shadow clone technique. I have always wanted to learn it, but I have no time to learn it. Today, Mr. Kakashi will teach me one last time. They want to challenge me, but I really have no intention of fighting them. However, you can't let them down. Use shadow clone on them. Enough. After hearing this speech, everyone was stunned. Not to mention how arrogant Sasuke said, he actually wants to learn a ninjutsu to deal with them? Although you are very strong, although you are very talented, but this is too insane. Learning ninjutsu? Can you learn ninjutsu casually? And plan to use it now? Kakashi glanced at Sasuke, wanting to refuse, but turned around. There is such a ninjutsu in the sealed book. Even if he doesn't teach it, Sasuke takes out the sealed book to learn it. It is good. Hearing that Kakashi agreed, Sasuke also stood up slowly, patted the clothes on his body, and raised his hand to signal Kakashi to start. At this moment, Sasuke gave Kakashi enough respect, making Kakashi seem to return to that time in a trance, the moment when he taught Sasuke to learn Chidori. With your talent, these few seals should be enough. It's the same as lightning-style shadow clone, even a few steps less. As he spoke, Kakashi made a few seals casually, and then stopped. It seems that this teaching is over. Seeing Kakashi's perfunctory attitude, Chio also nodded in satisfaction, this time seriously teaching the enemy ninjutsu. This kind of thing can't be done, so that's it, I understand. Sasuke raised his hand to seal the mudra, and it was done in one go. Shadow clone technique, the white smoke exploded. Chio was stunned. Loss. When the white smoke emerged, 11 shadow clone appeared around Sasuke. At the same time, the sound of the system also sounded. Congratulations to host for successfully mastering the new ninjutsu. Multiple shadow clone technique, getting started. Sasuke raised his eyebrows. The difficulty of this technique is indeed not high, but the multiplicity means mobilizing a large number of chakra in an instant. To distribute it evenly, this is not a chakra control skill that ordinary ninjas can have. At the same time, if the amount of chakra is not enough, then it is very likely that one's own chakra will be exhausted in an instant. Causes the caster to die instantly. That's why it became forbidden technique. Look at Sasuke, who succeeded once. Sand Shinobi are completely speechless. After being quiet for a few seconds, he slowly asked. Could it be that this guy knows this ninjutsu from the beginning? How is it possible to learn in one go? And release it directly. Do you really have this learning talent? Facing the doubts from Sand Shinobi, Sasuke didn't want to explain at all. But Kakashi smiled. Even my Reikiri only needs to be read once to learn it. How strange is it to learn Shadow Clone after watching it once? Chio is a little restless now. Reikiri? That is Kakashi's famous ninjutsu, the ninjutsu that cuts even lightning. The difficulty of learning is not small, and Uchiha Sasuke learned it just by looking at it? What a terrifying talent, no wonder this Uchiha kid is a monster. Such a person cannot be judged by common sense. And at this moment, nothing but surprise. Shikamaru and the others felt aggrieved. Sasuke, do you really think you can deal with this with clones? Neji. Sasuke. You underestimate me. You don't know what kind of training you have done to catch up with you during this time. Lee. Sasuke. Your 8 inner gates is what I want to learn. Yeah. Damn it. So contemptuous of people. Akamaru must give this guy a good look later. The Konoha 12 little powers were even more excited. Even girls like Hinata, Ino, are irritated by Sasuke's contempt. Now the eyes are full of fighting spirit. Sasuke, however, was unmoved. Still just keeping a smile, not intending to do it himself. Just a little wave. Shadow Clone is dispatched instantly. When the avatars started to act, even the speed at which the avatars exploded at this moment made Neji and the others dumbfounded. So fast. Like a gust of wind. No. It's really windy. This guy uses wind-style jutsu. Watching one of the avatars rushing in front of Neji, while forming a mudra with one hand, the other main finger quickly waved towards Neji. Wind-style, windblade. The gust of wind that burst out in an instant swept towards Neji quickly. Neji hurriedly cast Revolving Heaven. Compared with the time of Chunon's exam, the current Revolving Heaven seems to be much stronger. The power is not at the same level at all. Facing the cutting of the invisible windblade, Neji's Revolving Heaven was instantly broken. Even Neji couldn't believe how his own Revolving Heaven could be so simple. But in the next second, with the roar of thunder and lightning erupted from the bodies of the clones at the same time. Flash. Kakashi stared wide-eyed at the unbelievable scene in front of him. How strong is the chakra of each of Sasuke's clones? And the flickering black thunder, although not as strong as when Sasuke's body is released. It is completely enough to deal with small Sakura and others. 11 clones, 11 lightning bolts. Under the support of the lightning speed, the sun. Even Xiao Li, who was the fastest, couldn't dodge at all. After being hit by the black lightning, his whole body fell into a state of paralysis. In the next second, Clever held kunai against his throat. And people like Comrade Nai, Ya and others were directly defeated before they even had time to launch an attack. Fang was paralyzed by the black lightning style, unable to move at all, his eyes fixed on Sasuke's body. Damn. You don't count. None of us have time to prepare. Hearing such ridiculous words, Sasuke shook his head. Not counting? What? When fighting the enemy, do you still want to count on the enemy to tell you everything? Wait until you are ready before starting? Ridiculous idea. Sasuke waved his hand lightly. That's why I said, now I have no interest in you at all. Of course, if you want to try again, you can, but you won't keep your hands next time, but you will die. Sasuke just finished speaking. DD. A strange voice sounded, and Kakashi's expression suddenly changed. Bang bang bang. Sasuke's clone was strangled by 2 black shadows one after another, and the 2 black shadows attacked with a very strange posture. It's not something normal humans can do at all. Sasuke looked at the chakra thread in the air, and looked towards the other end along the chakra thread. Sand Shinobi's puppeteer, Chio Granny, is known as the existence of 10 fingers. Sasuke smiled. It's a beautiful blow. Puppetry seems to have its own uniqueness. Kakashi looked at Chio, and seemed to be a little hard to understand why Chio suddenly came out just now. Shadow Clone distributes chakra equally to each clone. It is a high-level ninjutsu. Breaking these clones means that the current Uchiha Sasuke only has 1/12 of the original chakra. The strength has been greatly reduced. Yinkashi, what do you think I am doing? I am helping you. Chio spoke slowly. It turned out that it was because of this. Kakashi smiled lightly. Master Chio, if you think this will weaken his strength, then you will underestimate Sasuke. Saying that, Kakashi motioned Chio to feel it carefully. However, the chakra fluctuations on Sasuke's body are still strong, even. It seems to be the same as before. Chio didn't understand. Why? Isn't Shadow Clone broken? Why doesn't Sasuke's chakra seem to be weakened at all? Although this kid is not from the Uzumaki or Senju clan, he has shown a strong chakra recovery talent from the very beginning. His chakra recovery ability is also at the monster level. While Kakashi was talking, Might Guy came out. Lee, back off. We have seen your awakening, but the current Sasuke is no longer something you can deal with. Leave it to us. Might Guy takes a look at Kakashi. The eyes of the two met. They didn't say anything, but Kakashi instantly understood Guy's meaning. even though Master Tsunade specifically explained it before coming here. But Guy still wants to try Sasuke's power for himself. After all, Sasuke now has 8 inner gates. Forget about anything else. Might Guy absolutely does not allow anyone who is not qualified to master the technique of 8 inner gates. After all, this is the forbidden technique developed by Guy's father. At the same time, Guy's meaning is very simple. He is responsible for suppressing Sasuke, if Kakashi finds out when the time is right. Just take the opportunity to hit Sasuke hard, as long as Sasuke can be injured. Then it doesn't matter if Sasuke is allowed to escape in the end, after all Master Tsunade has specifically explained. They can't really just kill Sasuke like that. Guy stood up and looked at Sasuke. Sasuke, you have mastered the 8 inner gates, right? Hearing this, Sasuke smiled, and he guessed that it was because of this incident that Might Guy looked at him with unprecedented majesty. That's right. Sasuke nodded. After all, the matter has been exposed through the Battle of Sanagakure. Denial doesn't make any sense. A generous acknowledgement is better. Very good. I didn't expect you to be able to master the 8 inner gates technique. Just relying on the records in the Book of Seals, you will be able to learn this technique. But there are some skills that cannot be mastered just by looking at the things recorded on the scroll. Sasuke, I have nothing to do with what you do, but only the 8 inner gates. Whether you really mastered the 8 inner gates, this matter should be decided by me, Might Guy. Saying that, Might Guy raised his hand and clenched his fist toward Sasuke. Fight with me. Let me see your physical skills and your 8 inner gates. A gymnastics fight. Just right. Sasuke felt that his physical skills should be about to break through, but he was always a little bit short. It seems that there is still a lack of a real physical master to fight against himself. Now Might Guy is giving himself experience. Sasuke jumped off the rock, twisted his neck lightly. Okay. Then asked Mr. Might Guy for advice. Chio frowned and looked at the two. Since Konoha's blue beast Might Guy was going to hold Sasuke back, they could take the opportunity to go to the cave behind. Bring out Gaara's body. If Gaara's body is still intact, then she can find a way to bring Gaara back to life. Use that forbidden technique. Chio made a gesture to signal the Sand Shinobi behind him to prepare for action. After Sasuke and Might Guy start fighting, they can go out and go to the cave to bring out Vice Admiral Gaara. Sasuke. Come on. Let me see how far your taijutsu has come. Might Guy doesn't think Sasuke's taijutsu can surpass himself, because in his memory, Sasuke is a ninjutsu-type ninja. Although physical skills are also very strong, they are far worse than myself. But soon, Sasuke will let him know that the reason why a genius is because he can't figure it out with ordinary people's thinking. Since Might Guy took the initiative to speak up and let himself make the first move, then Sasuke will not be polite. He raised his hand and pulled out the Kusanagi sword from his waist. Seeing this action, everyone thought that Sasuke was going to use a knife, but in the next second Sasuke directly inserted the Kusanagi sword into the source of the stone. There are no chakra fluctuations, just pure power. Beep. The stone was penetrated instantly, and the strength was just right. While splitting the stone in an instant, it just managed to keep the stone from breaking apart. This move alone made Kakashi and others' eyes shine, and they were very surprised. It's hard to see that Sasuke's mere power has reached this point. Next second, Sasuke turned around and stepped straight towards Might Guy. Although it can't compare to the ultimate speed of lightning, or the burst of spells such as instant body. But the running speed alone, Sasuke is still not slow. Compared with Jonin, it is already a few streets away. What a speed! Might Guy's eyelids twitched slightly. It seems that Sasuke has also become much stronger in physical skills. How long has it been? Has Taiju already caught up with him? Impossible. Might Guy has specialized in gymnastics for so many years, could it be that he was caught up so easily by a brat? Boom. The moment the two fists collided, Might Guy's heart trembled suddenly. What a strong force. The posture, movement, and timing of the shot are all perfectly chosen. This level of physical skills. Even with physical skills, it is enough to crush an ordinary Jonin. Might Guy was shocked. And Kakashi was also shocked. Having been an opponent with Might Guy for so many years, he knows how amazing Might Guy's physical skills are, and at the same time, his physical skills have also been strengthened a lot due to Guy's training. Although not as good as Might Guy, his eyesight is not bad. Sure enough, Sasuke's taijutsu can be said to be on par with Guy. Bang bang. After Guy understood Sasuke's level, he immediately started to attack and counterattack. When the physical skills of the two are about the same, it would be extremely bad if they fell into a disadvantage. When the two fought against each other, the pure body technique unexpectedly erupted into an astonishing roar. At the same time, the battle is extremely fierce, even more intense than the collision of ninjutsu. Cooperating with Sharingan's insight, Sasuke can often see Guy's attack route in advance. Do a good job of dodging and counterattacking. It only takes almost an instant to interrupt Guy's offensive, and at the same time directly counterpress. But Sasuke didn't do that, just interrupted Guy's offensive, and then paused deliberately, allowing Guy to continue attacking himself. This strange phenomenon is completely invisible to Sakura and others. But present, Kakashi and Chio could clearly see it. And they don't understand why Sasuke did this. Is it to humiliate Might Guy? What an arrogant boy, you have an advantage but you don't take it. Are you deliberately letting go? As Chio spoke, the sand removal Jonin on the side was a little startled. Have an advantage? Hasn't that kid been suppressed all the time? Where does he have the advantage? The general Jonin can't understand the level of physical combat between Sasuke and Guy. And Kakashi suddenly frowned. No, Sasuke is not such a teaser, he is. He's honing his physical skills with Might Guy on purpose. Hearing Kakashi's words, Chio froze for a moment. In this situation, do you need to use the enemy to hone your physical skills? Might Guy didn't let the water go. Every blow was full of force, and the lethality should not be underestimated, but it was hard to be hit. This kid actually risked his life and used the enemy to hone himself. It seems that in addition to being so powerful because of his talent, what is more important is this kind of lifeless cultivation. It's just risking your life. If we use one situation to describe Sasuke's current situation, it's like dancing on the tip of a knife. Surrounded by razor-sharp and deadly blades, Sasuke could die if he wasn't careful. However, Sasuke still chose to do so. In the eyes of others, the figures of the two of them flickered quickly. The collision between fists and feet was very intense. But for these sand shinobi Jonin and little Sakura, they can't see how terrifying the danger is. And Kakashi and Chio can clearly see every dangerous move Sasuke makes. It's like making a joke of your own life. Deliberately dodging at the last second, Ultimate compressed his thinking time. This kind of behavior can certainly achieve the effect of cultivation and improvement, but it is also looking for death. Seeing Sasuke doing this, Chio couldn't help but want to find a chance to do it, and give this Konoha kid a fatal blow. Such a genius, appearing in the ninja world, whether he is a traitor or not, is a great threat to Sanagakure. Boom. Might Guy punched Sasuke, but was quickly dodged by Sasuke, and the next second. Guy's continuous punches and elbows compressed the space Sasuke dodged wildly. There was no time left for Sasuke to fight back. And Sasuke's Sharingan is spinning rapidly, and even instinctively wants to open the Mangekyo Sharingan. But Sasuke suppressed it by force of will. The more pressure, the more Sasuke can feel that the bottleneck of physical skills is being pierced by himself. Watching as Might Guy's elbow was about to hit the commander's assistant in the chest. If this blow is a little more detailed, then one hit is equivalent to a cannonball exploding in Sasuke's chest. Even with Sasuke's physique, it is absolutely uncomfortable, and he needs to directly activate Muji healing to survive. Hard resistance is impossible. I wanted to block it, but Might Guy blocked it with one hand. I couldn't stop it. Just at this very moment, Sasuke suddenly felt his body become more sensitive. A dim light flickered in his eyes, and he saw the flaw in Guy's moves. Both hands are clasped by Guy, but can also be used as leverage points. Jumping straight up, Sasuke kicked Guy hard and unexpectedly before Guy hit himself. Although Guy has already defended for the first time. But the strong strength and the roaring sound made everyone present stunned for a moment. At the same time Guy's body slid a distance to the right. Guy, who stopped slowly, looked at Sasuke with some surprise. At this moment Sasuke fell down and stood there, looking at his hands. The corners of the mouth rose slightly. Congratulations to host, the physical skill level has been improved. Basic physical skills, Ultimate, finally, breakthrough. Ultimate's taijutsu gave Sasuke a completely different feeling. Looking up at Guy now, Sasuke will think of Guy's attack just now, and now Sasuke feels that everything is a flaw. Guy doesn't know why he always feels that Sasuke is different now. But I can't tell exactly where it is different. But soon he will experience it for himself. Running straight towards Guy, Sasuke's speed didn't increase much. But in the next second Sasuke made a move, and the punch came straight. Guy, as always, wanted to avoid it casually, and launched a counterattack at the same time. However, in the next second, Sasuke's continuous attacks were not fast, but the strength of each attack was amazing. At the same time, he restrained Guy perfectly. He didn't deliberately seize the opportunity, but he firmly suppressed Guy. No matter how Guy attacks, while Sasuke easily diffuses it, the backhand directly crushes Guy with pure incomparable body skills. When seeing this scene, Kakashi opened his mouth involuntarily. This Sasuke's taijutsu seems become stronger. Now he doesn't know if this is his illusion, but it was soon accompanied by a dull impact sound. Boom. Guy frantically backed up a dozen steps before stabilizing his figure, and then stood there looking at Sasuke in surprise. In just a few seconds of fighting just now, he was completely suppressed by, terribly suppressed. There is no room for half a point to fight back. In terms of physical skills, no one has ever been able to completely crush him like this. This brat broke through. He is not a taijutsu ninja now, and it is very clear that Sasuke's change may be a breakthrough. Chio was stunned. Is this a breakthrough? How could he just? Seeing this, Kakashi is also sure that it is probably not his own illusion, but Sasuke's real breakthrough. Guy seemed a little unbelieving and took the initiative to attack, but he could do 3 tricks. The first move is blocking, the second move is counter suppression, and the third move. Kick Guy away with one kick. It looks exactly like Jonin teaching Chunin a lesson. Such a scene completely stupefied little Sakura and the other 12 Xiaoqiang. Backquote. What's going on? Why does Mr. Might Guy suddenly seem to be weaker? It's obviously not like this just now. Could it be that your physical strength is exhausted? Lee's hands trembled slightly at the moment. No. It's not that the teacher has become weaker, but that Sasuke has become stronger. Now Lee is very unwilling. Is this a genius? Just in such a short period of time, the physical skills have surpassed the teacher. A person like him who has no talent and can only rely on hard work to become stronger, is it true that he will never be able to surpass genius? Guy stabilized his breathing, raised his head and looked in front of him, Sasuke, whose aura had faintly surpassed his own. As expected of Konoha's once-in-a-century genius. You actually used me as a whetstone to make a breakthrough in your physical skills. In terms of physical skills alone, Sasuke, you are now stronger than me. With Guy's official approval, little Sakura and others directly raised their hands to cover their mouths. They couldn't believe it was real. But you are qualified in physical skills, but 8 inner gates. Need more than physical skills. Guy still didn't fully approve of Sasuke. Now show me your 8 inner gates, Uchiha Sasuke. As he spoke, Guy gently moved his hands. 8 inner gates, 6th gate, Jingmun, open. Instantly opened the 6th gate. This wave of operations surprised Sasuke very much. It can only be said that it is worthy of being the Emperor Guy. In the practice of 8 inner gates, he is indeed far superior to himself. Do you want to fight with 8 gate, Tet? Sasuke also wants to see the 8 gate between different ninjas. Will there be any difference? 8 inner gates. The first door, open the door, open. Sasuke doesn't have the ability to instantly open the 6th gate, he can only open the 6th gate one by one. The first gate of the 8 inner gates opens, and Sasuke's chakra wave seems to start boiling. Guy stared at Sasuke with wide eyes. It is indeed the perfect 8 inner gates. Did Sasuke really learn the 8 inner gates by virtue of the sealed book? With the 8 inner gates, the first gate opens. Sasuke's chakra seemed to start boiling. Yet Sasuke hasn't stopped yet. Second gate. Third gate. The fourth gate. Open. After continuously opening the fourth gate, Sasuke did not continue to open the next 8 gate for the first time. Instead, he raised his head and looked at the Might Guy in front of him. Sasuke's eyes locked on it. Didn't speak, but the meaning is obvious. I plan to use the fourth gate to touch Might Guy. And Might Guy didn't take this lightly, because the time Sasuke practiced the 8 inner gates was counted from the time he left the village. In such a short period of time, he was able to cultivate to the fourth gate of the 8 inner gates. This has taken him by surprise. One must know that even Xiao Li, who he found to be extremely talented in physical skills, spent several years learning 8 inner gates before reaching this level. Fourth gate. Hurt the door. Opening this gate already represents the entry of the 8 inner gates, because this gate has already entered the danger zone of the 8 inner gates. It can be regarded as the opening of 8 inner gates in the true sense. Open the fourth gate. Mr. Sasuke, how much time did it take to cultivate 8 inner gates to the fourth gate? Little Sakura was a little puzzled. This technique is not forbidden loosening. Logically speaking, this should be difficult to practice. Turning to look at the surprised Xiao Li, Xiao Sakura tentatively asked, Li, is 8 inner gates easy to master? Easy. Xiao Li couldn't laugh or cry when he heard this question. Easy. Counting from the teacher officially taught me 8 inner gates, it took me 2 full years to barely open the fourth gate. 2 years. Shikamaru thought about it carefully. From when Sasuke left Konoha to now, at most, it has only been a few months. During this time, Sasuke successfully mastered the fourth gate of 8 inner gates. This guy's talent is indeed like a monster. It is simply incomprehensible. Xiao Li seemed to be a little bit shocked. Sure enough. The gap between geniuses and ordinary people cannot be caught up by relying on hard work. While talking, Neji wanted to comfort Xiao Li, but he didn't know what to say. Sasuke's talent made him feel very scared. This is simply not an ability that should appear on human beings. Perfect fourth gate. No matter in terms of shape or fluency of launching, you have perfectly mastered the fourth gate. Might Guy has already approved of Sasuke from the bottom of his heart now. On the contrary, he is very happy that 8 inner gates has an heir like Sasuke. But now Might Guy still wants to try Sasuke's actual combat. Turning on the 8-gate state can certainly increase strength, but if it cannot be used in actual combat. That was just a decoration. Sasuke, I'm going to make a move. I'm in the state of opening the 6th gate, our current strength is no longer at the same level. Guy kindly reminded, but Sasuke didn't say anything. In the state of 4th gate, I can easily explode the special ability of the Senju clan, Chakra Explodes. With the blessing of strange power and Ultimate's physical skills, it is not impossible to fight against the 6th gate. Sasuke thought to himself. Looking at Guy who is about to start, you should be careful, Mr. Might Guy. After the words fell, Might Guy broke out directly, and under the support of 6th gate and Jingmun, Might Guy simply kicked. They all seem to be able to crush the air, and the green light bubbling from their bodies symbolizes that this is the last boundary of the 8 inner gates. Once you get past the 6th gate, you start to put a huge load on your body, causing almost permanent damage. It can't be opened casually. Guy didn't pay too much attention to Sasuke's words. After all, the power erupted by the 6th gate and the 4th gate is completely different. Humph. He snorted coldly. Guy rushed directly to Sasuke. The speed is not inferior to the General Jonin's body flicker technique, and even worse. Punch. Attacked without any fancy movements, and blasted straight at Sasuke. The storm that rolled up on the fist was instantly compressed, and even relying on the speed of the fist swing, it seemed to directly ignite the air. A cloud of flame covered Guy's fist. Are you facing the peacock? Although Guy probably didn't perform the 6th gate supporting physical technique, facing the peacock, even the basic physical attack still has a part of the power of facing the peacock. Sasuke also took a light breath. Chakra frantically converges on his fist. Throw a punch at Guy's fist at the same time. Front collision. Lee is stunned now. Obviously Sasuke is in the state of 4th gate. Sasuke who has studied 8 inner gates should know. 8 inner gates. Every time you dodge a gate, it will bring about a world-shaking change. This is why the 8 inner gates are so powerful. But he only opened the 4th gate, but chose to collide head-on with Mr. Guy who opened the 6th gate. It's like Genin taking on elite ninjas, it's just asking for death. However, in a flash, Sasuke's fist collided with Guy's fist. The sudden burst of chakra, the terrifying power generated, and the strong power erupting from Kai's fist. Mutual collision scores. The moment the punch collided, a dazzling light erupted unexpectedly. The air seemed to be blasted away instantly. In the blink of an eye, a terrifying roar sounded. Guy froze for a moment. He didn't understand why Sasuke could use the 4th gate to explode with a strength comparable to his own 6th gate. This kid. How did he do it? Boom. When the terrifying roar resounded through the past. The ground cracked instantly, and under the sweeping aftermath, dense cracks like spider webs appeared within a range of more than 10 meters around. Both Sasuke and Might Guy took 3 steps back at the same time. Looking up, the two stared at each other. How is it possible that Kakashi showed horror? Guy's 6th gate was blocked by Sasuke's 4th gate? It's unreasonable. It's so unreasonable. In the state of opening the 8 inner gates, the chakra in the body explodes crazily, and in this state it is impossible to perform ninjutsu at all. After all, If chakra wants to control the riot, this is undoubtedly death. It is impossible for Sasuke to use any ninjutsu, but without the blessing of ninjutsu, how did he rely on the fourth gate to fight against the sixth gate? Teacher Might Guy, continue. Sasuke's voice sounded, without giving Might Guy any time to think. Accelerate suddenly. Leaping into the air, Sasuke's body turned quickly in the air, swept his legs, and kicked Might Guy fiercely with the speed of rotation. The same strange force erupts. Guy countered with kicks, and the collision of the two again caused an amazing roar. The same is evenly divided. Guy's face is full of disbelief now. Sasuke. How did he do it? Can the fourth gate resist the power of my sixth gate? And this time little Sakura frowned. I always feel that Sasuke's taijutsu seems very familiar, as if I have seen it somewhere. While little Sakura was talking, all of a sudden Sasuke hits the ground with a punch and Might Guy dodges. And in the next second, the terrifying power immediately exploded the ground within 20 meters around. The exploded ground turned into countless tiny gravels, which splashed madly towards Lan Lan in all directions. See this scene. Little Sakura suddenly thought of it. Monster Power Fist. This is the teacher's strange power fist. Little Sakura's voice sounded. Shikamaru and others around looked at little Sakura in amazement. Teacher? They all know who the little Sakura's teacher is. It is Konoha's current Hokage, 5th Hokage Tsunade-sama. Master Tsunade's strange power fist. Although I don't know what it is specifically about. But thinking about it carefully, Master Tsunade seems to have a very terrifying move. The entire building collapsed directly in one circle. As a female, Master Tsunade's move is really impressive. I think this is the strange power fist that Sakura said. Sasuke. How did Master Tsunade do it? Sai asked, very puzzled, and the others couldn't figure it out at all. Shikamaru's eyes sparkled. Senju. People at that time, Sasuke can't be wrong. Strange power fist is Master Tsunade's move, but the former Senju family has a special ability, which can explode extremely amazing strange power. Could it be that Tsunade-sama taught Sasuke? Shikamaru's guess is not unreasonable, but Sasuke didn't learn his strange power from Tsunade. Kakashi heard the words of several people and looked at Sasuke, who can now fight against the sixth gate with the fourth gate. Suddenly thought of something. It is impossible for Tsunade-sama to teach Sasuke. No matter what the reason is, Master Tsunade can't do that. Kakashi gave a negative answer. However, Sai felt that there might be exceptions to everything, but now the strange power fist on Sasuke, how to explain it? If there is any reasonable explanation to be given. Kakashi smiled. Master Hokage's strange power fist is just a technique to control chakra. Little Sakura also agrees with this point. After all, she has already started to learn this trick. With Sasuke's talent, it is not difficult to master this kind of nuanced chakra control ability. It's not surprising to find out that chakra can unleash such power without even being guided by anyone. So that seems to be true. After all, Sasuke's talent is there for all to see. Boom buzz. Guy collided head-on with Sasuke again, and the two were still evenly matched. But now Guy has a serious face, but he is already full of praise for Sasuke in his heart. Powerful physical skills, coupled with the fourth gate, and the amazing burst of strange power, can really block the power of my sixth gate steadily. Uchiha Sasuke, the talent in physical arts is also so pervert. I am afraid that all the people in Konoha may not be as talented as Sasuke. People are more popular than people. Although I have a high opinion of Sasuke in my heart. But now Guy decided to get serious. Sasuke, I didn't expect that the fourth gate, together with that strange chakra burst, could perfectly block my sixth gate. Good. But then I have to be serious. After warming up, it's time for you to see what the real 8 inner gates are. That being said, Guy's real idea is to let Sasuke learn the physical skills corresponding to 8 inner gates. There are only a few introductions in the sealed book, and there is no mention of how to practice. So no matter how talented Sasuke is, he can't learn. And now Guy wants to teach Sasuke live, true 8 inner gates. In this way, even small Sakura and others are very interested. Chiyo also stared at Might Guy. The mighty Guy who is famous in the ninja world for his physical skills, the blue beast of Konoha. The power of the 8 inner gates, I've never really seen it either. This taboo body art from Konoha, the true power is not limited to what it shows now. Exhale lightly. Adjusting his breathing, at the same time the chakra explosion on his body suddenly strengthened several times. Seeing Guy like this, Sasuke also knew the tricks Guy was going to use next. In the state of fourth gate, I am afraid that this blow cannot be blocked. Sasuke. The next blow, you watch me. Guy is reminding Sasuke again. However, at this time, Sasuke heard the implication that Sasuke is ready to open the fifth gate. 8 inner gates, fifth gate, Duman. Open. Boom. The once again strengthened chakra wave erupted, and Guy, who was preparing to attack at this moment, was stunned for a moment. Fifth gate? Sasuke actually mastered the fifth gate. I thought that the fourth gate was Sasuke's limit, but I didn't expect him to be able to open another gate. Now Guy couldn't help showing a smile on his face. I can open the fifth gate, then I can feel a little more at ease, so that even if I try my best, I won't kill you. Use all your strength to show the peacock, but also to let Sasuke see it more clearly. Towards the peacock. Suddenly, while everyone was looking at Sasuke in amazement, Guy was already fully fired. Ah, hit, hit, hit. Crazy punching. The airflow is compressed, and because of the friction generated by punching, the flames are ignited. It swept out like a peacock spreading its tail. For a moment, there was a sense of seeing a peacock, and at the same time, the direction of the impact of these flames was Sasuke's position. And Sasuke, who opened the fifth. Raise your hand and swing your fist, and use your fist to catch these flames. The roar continued to sound, accompanied by the dust and smoke from the explosion, which almost drowned Sasuke in an instant. Smoke everywhere. Might Guy's attack came to an end after 10 seconds. But the surrounding area has been completely destroyed. In front of the 2 ninjas from 8 inner gates, countless potholes have appeared on the ground. Is it solved? Guy's power towards the peacock is even more amazing than Sand Shinobi imagined. Although Sasuke tried his best to resist with his fists, but under such a terrifying continuous attack, it is impossible for Sasuke to block it. A random group of flames can easily break rocks and open mountains. Can this kind of power be stopped by relying only on the physical body? The Sand Shinobi stared in the direction of the rising smoke. Guy is panting heavily at the moment. Even though it's only the 6th gate, it's not that simple to perform peacock. He was also a little worried. Boy. Don't die like this, the power towards the peacock. You should be able to resist it. Time passed by every minute and every second, and the surroundings became dry and quiet. The smoke is still slowly spreading, making it impossible to see Sasuke's situation. But next second, the surrounding smoke seemed to be shaken by something, and suddenly it seemed to be pushed away by a strong wind. At the same time, a voice came. 8 inner gates. 6th gate. Jingmun. What? Guy's eyes dilated and stared ahead. 10. The smoke spread slowly. Sasuke. Standing in place, the chakra fluctuations on the body are not strong, but green light covered Sasuke's body surface. At this moment, everyone stared at Sasuke with wide eyes. Xiao Li even sat down on the ground directly, looking at Sasuke in amazement. 6th gate. How long has it been since Sasuke defected and left Konoha? It is impossible for him to study 8 inner gates for more than 3 months, and it takes 3 months, just relying on the cultivation methods in the sealed book. It doesn't count if you have practiced the 8 inner gates by yourself, and you have successfully upgraded to the level where you can open the 6th gate. What a monster. Natural physical genius. And he's a genius like no other. At this moment, Kakashi and others were also shocked by the surging green light on Sasuke's body. Could it be that broke through directly because of fighting Guy? Kakashi couldn't resist the thought. No way, Sasuke's previous breakthrough in physical skills was extremely shocking. Now it seems that the temporary breakthrough of 8 inner gates is not impossible. You can drive to the 6th gate. Might Guy stared at Sasuke and said blankly. Sasuke didn't speak, but looked at a group of red marks on his chest. Although he had resisted it with all his strength, Might Guy's peacock was really powerful. There is really no way to completely block it. Sasuke. I have a question. Suddenly Guy looked at Sasuke very seriously. Sasuke raised his head and looked at Guy with some doubts. He wanted to ask a question at this time? What question? How long? How long have you cultivated 8 inner gates? Hearing this, Sasuke frowned. How long? Just think about it for a few days. About 3 or 4 days, Sasuke said casually, and after hearing the time Sasuke said, Guy was stunned, and Lee was completely petrified. 3 or 4 days. Not only Lee, but even Shikamaru and others who have never studied 8 inner gates, it is difficult to understand how to use a taboo physical skill in 3 or 4 days. Direct cultivation to the point of the 6th gate, even if it is calculated according to each stage of the 8 inner gates. Sasuke has cultivated to the 6th gate, which should be regarded as a relatively advanced level. How did this guy do it? Incomprehensible talent. Kakashi couldn't help talking. Sai looked at Sasuke with full of awe, as expected of a genius that Konoha still remembers until now. This talent is really enviable. Kid Konoha. It only took 3 or 4 days. He has cultivated this physical skill to this point. Why has Sanagakure, never appeared before such a talented ninja? Chio feels that God seems to favor Konoha too much. Why is genius always in Konoha? And now there is such a monster. 3 or 4 days. I never thought that a monster like you would be able to master the 8 inner gates in such a short period of time. Even Guy couldn't help laughing. He suddenly stopped smiling. Then let me try your talent, Sasuke. Did you pay attention to the peacock just now? Hearing this, Sasuke understood what Guy meant. Ah. You can see clearly. If you can really master the 6th gate of the 8 inner gates in 3 or 4 days, then the peacock should also. That's right. Learned. Although the system has not yet prompted, but as long as Sasuke casts one side, the system will immediately pop up a reminder that Sasuke has mastered a new physical skill. If it was before, Sasuke was very interested in the taijutsu that 8 gate provided. But now, Sasuke felt that there was no need for him to learn these martial arts. Because there are better taijutsu for 8 inner gates here in Sasuke. Although ninjutsu, however, in Sasuke's opinion, the 8 inner gates are the most suitable. Then let me see your talent. Guy reopened the 6th gate, and Sasuke turned around this time and walked towards the stone. Coming to the front of the stone, he raised his hand and pulled out the Kusanagi sword from the stone. The blade was unsheathed, and the stone instantly turned into countless gravels and exploded. Holding the Kusanagi sword in one hand, Sasuke turned to look at Guy. That physical skill is indeed very strong, but for me, there are moves that are more suitable for 8 inner gates. So, I don't need to learn your physical skills. Guy froze. Sasuke, what does this mean? Look down on your tricks. Sasuke didn't mean to look down, but Guy obviously understood it that way. But it doesn't matter. Sasuke doesn't want to explain either, because it's better to prove it directly with actions. 8 inner gates. Is taijutsu ultimate forbidden technique, Sasuke? You want to attack with a sword? This is a waste of 8 inner gates power. For Sasuke, who is ready to fight with weapons, Might Guy thinks that this is a manifestation of crooked ways and going astray. Waste of power? Sasuke took a look at Guy. Is it a waste of power? You will know if you try it. Raising his hand and raising the knife, the blade cut across the air, just touching Sasuke's chakra. Immediately, thunder and lightning erupted, and the thunder and lightning traveled on the blade. Feel the power of the Sasuke Kusanagi sword. Kakashi's face was a little dignified. This is ninja sword. At this moment, Might Guy didn't notice this subtle change at all, but wanted to bring Sasuke, the little ghost who had gone astray, back to the right path. It seems that you still don't understand the true power of the 8 inner gates. Guy was very angry in his heart, as if facing a student with excellent grades but disobedient. All he wants to do now is teach this student a good lesson. I'll let you see today, the real reason why I'm called the Blue Beast. Uchiha Sasuke. Looking good. 8 inner gates. 7th gate. Shocked. Open. Blue light covered Might Guy's body surface. An even more shocking chakra wave erupted, and Guy's body had already begun to turn extremely red. The bubbling blue light is the blue steam formed by the evaporation of sweat. Feel the powerful force sweeping along with the airflow. Sasuke also frowned slightly. Explode the power of 8 inner gates with Breath of Thunder, or use 8 inner gates to strengthen the power of Breath of Thunder. Compared with Might Guy's 8 gate, I don't know which one is stronger or weaker. Sasuke is also very curious now, watching as he is concentrating all the power zones on his body. Uchiha Sasuke. That's the real power of 8 inner gates. You show me. Boom. The storm swept across, and suddenly the surrounding storm seemed to calm down in an instant. But in the next second, Guy put his hands together suddenly, making a strange Indian pattern. A strong airflow swept out, directly surrounding it to form a huge tiger head. The fierce tiger formed by the condensed air is opening its mouth and roaring wildly. Day. Tiger. Day tiger. Compress the air first, then release it in one breath, and then turn into an air cannon in the shape of a tiger. This can only be released when the 7th gate is turned on. There is simply no way to do this without the support of great power and speed and violent chakra bursts. Looking at the air that is gradually forming a tiger shape, it is constantly gathering. Day Tiger's body is constantly expanding, and it seems to expand to the hill in an instant. There was a deafening roar, and medical waves ravaged one after another. Rapidly exploded towards the surroundings. The ground seemed to sink in an instant, and Kakashi and others stood still, feeling the ground shaking. This is only the power of the aftermath of the outbreak, not the power of the frontal attack. Kakashi looked at Guy, who was steaming all over at the moment. Guy. You have surpassed me long ago. The relationship between the two has always been like a close friend and a strong enemy. Speaking of it, the two seem to have the same outcome. But now Kakashi understands, Guy has already surpassed himself. His gymnastics has reached the human limit of in the true sense. This trick, Day Tiger, is the best answer. At this moment, Xiaoli looked at his teacher. His whole body burst out with vigor, as if he was invincible. This is the realm of the teacher. The power of this move. Just feeling it can already make people's blood boil. I don't know how powerful it will be when it really explodes. Sasuke. Now. You show me, what is the real 8 inner gates? Might Guy's voice sounded, followed by a roar, and the roar from the fierce tiger exploded in an instant. The tiger roars in the mountains and forests. The tiger came out of the gate, leapt out of the air and threw a tiger in the direction of Sasuke, and jumped straight down from the sky. With its huge mouth open, it seems that it intends to eat Sasuke in one bite. Being hit by this blow, Guy estimated that Sasuke would definitely only be seriously injured. But now I don't care so much, it is more important to let Sasuke know his way back. 8 inner gates is not what he uses. The power of taboo physical skills naturally requires ultimate physical skills to burst out with stronger power. If Sasuke knew this sentence in Guy's mind, he would definitely agree with it. Previously, Sasuke burst into Thunder Breath while using Sage Mode. The power at that time already made Sasuke feel very strong. But it wasn't until the last time that Sasuke used Thunder's Breath again in the state of opening 8 gate. It was the real power that made Sasuke understand that the real power of the 8 inner gates needed this technique to truly display it. The same power of Thunder's Breath also requires real physical skills to be better displayed. Watch the air cannons getting closer. Sasuke held the handle of the Kusanagi sword lightly with one hand, and slowly slid on it with the other hand. Thunder and lightning flowed on the blade, but because of Sasuke's touch, it seemed to be faintly screaming. At this moment, the faint sound of the sword should have been suppressed by the roar of the Day Tiger. However, everyone could clearly hear the weird and faint sound of the saber in their ears. At the moment when the Day Tiger was about to hit Commander's help, Sasuke let out a breath slowly. At this moment, everyone couldn't help looking at Sasuke. Lightning. Black electric light erupted slightly on Sasuke's shoulders. Chakra, who was rioting in his body, was perfectly controlled at this moment. Strength. Terrible forces are brewing. A split second seems to be very fast, but for Sasuke, this period of time is very, very long. ZZ. Electric light flickered on the body surface. Moment. Sasuke opened his eyes, and the huge mouth of the Day Tiger in front of him had swallowed him. But at this moment, Sasuke moved. The Kusanagi sword in his hand swung out suddenly. The figure also disappeared in an instant. Only black thunder and lightning suddenly erupted in the mouth of the Day Tiger, with a strong and dazzling light. An incomparably dazzling halo was emitted in an instant, making everyone's eyes feel stinging in an instant. The light flashed by. Next second, to everyone's great surprise, Day Tiger dissipated. It was torn apart in an instant, and was directly divided into 2 halves by a golden lightning mixed with black. The roar of thunder that sounded at the same time only exploded at this time. Substantial sound waves spread, accompanied by a flash of golden and black light in the air. Sasuke appeared in front of Guy. Thunder Breath. 7 type. God of Fire and Thunder. The Kusanagi sword in his hand was pressed against Guy's throat. The lightning flowing on the blade had already begun to slightly paralyze Guy's body. Although for Guy who has turned on the 7th gate state, this level of lightning style has no effect at all. But Guy was still in a cold sweat. As long as Sasuke's blade advances by 1 point just now, one can imagine what will happen to him. Quick. Too fast. Absolutely unresponsive speed. The power that erupted from this blow was able to disintegrate Rihu in an instant. This made Guy completely unbelievable. This was among the 8 inner gates, before the 8th gate was opened. His strongest attack was Sasuke, with the posture of 6th gate to cooperate with the ninja sword's attack, and it was instantly defeated. Why? You can burst out with such power in an instant. The others were still in a state of shock, and hadn't recovered from their senses at all. Guy asked Sasuke. Face this problem. The thunder behind slowly dissipated. The corners of Sasuke's mouth slightly raised, looking at Guy in front of him. Isn't it the same as you said? 8 inner gates can only display their true strength with physical skills. And my breath of thunder is also a physical skill. Look at the ninja sword in Sasuke's hand. Thinking back to that crushing, earth-shattering blow just now. Guy froze suddenly. Thunder breath. He knows this name, or who doesn't know the whole ninja world now? Konoha's monster bud Zebo Sasuke has created an extremely amazing ninjutsu. It was evaluated by Jiraiya, one of the Sannin, that it is not weaker than 8 inner gates' terrifying technique. And just now Sasuke used the breath of thunder on the basis of 8 inner gates? Doesn't that mean Sasuke just used 2 forbidden martial arts at the same time? Just thinking about it a little bit, you know how difficult it is. Sasuke. How did he do it? The mystery is only known to Sasuke himself. But now Guy has to admit that the power of the 8 inner gates seems to have exploded more perfectly because of the breath of thunder. The combination of these 2 physical arts is amazing. Even the day tiger can't stop. Looking at Sasuke in front of him, Guy suddenly thought of something. Physical arts. Sasuke. Maybe it won't be long before he becomes the strongest in ninja martial arts. The slightly trembling blade groaned faintly. Everyone stared at Sasuke dumbfounded, looking at the long knife in the opponent's hand. Pointing at Guy's throat. The lightning flowing on the blade, the green light surging on Sasuke. 2 lights of different colors are intertwined, and at this moment, the Kusanagi sword held by Sasuke seems to be transformed into a thunderbolt. It was pinched in Sasuke's hands like a thunder. Teacher Guy. You lost. Sasuke's words sounded, and at this moment, everyone felt as if their throats were choked, and they were completely speechless. Shao Li couldn't accept this fact. How could it be? The teacher opened the 7th gate, and unexpectedly lost. Shikamaru. With such a powerful blow, even the airflow was compressed into that form, yet it was broken in an instant. Teeth. Sasuke. This guy is too strong. Now Inuzuka Tooth has no idea at all and wants to challenge Sasuke. Just kidding. Challenge? What is the challenge? This guy has completely entered a realm that makes them difficult to look up to. Still want a challenge? Challenge a ghost. Even elite Jonin's Might Guy teacher is no match for him. Inuzuka, I am afraid he will never be able to catch up with Sasuke in his life. Yeah. You win. Guy sighed softly. He can accept losing such a thing, but what Might Guy can't accept now is that he was defeated by a little ghost in his most proud physical skill. And the opponent is still using the power of 8 inner gates. It was simply unacceptable to him. Now Guy has no fighting spirit, and his whole person seems to be suddenly old and decadent. But at this moment, a roar of thunder and lightning sounded. Sasuke frowned. The blade of the Kusanagi sword in his hand turned, and the tip of the blade pointed directly at the other side. Violent thunder and lightning erupted from the blade in an instant. The black thunder raged, and instantly joined with another blue lightning bolt. A scarlet Sharingan was slowly turning, and the 3 Tomo locked Sasuke tightly. Sasuke looked at the person in front of him, Ms. Kakashi. The fierce roar erupted from the collision of thunder and lightning continued. At this time, Kakashi, who shot Reikiri, blocked Sasuke's Kusanagi sword with one hand, while staring at Sasuke firmly. Did not expect, at this age, Sasuke has surpassed Guy in physical skills. While Kakashi was shocked, he didn't want his best friend to be so beaten, so he shot directly. Guy. Don't forget the mission. Hearing Kakashi's voice, Guy nodded with a wry smile. Of course the mission is clear, but now that Sasuke has this strength, it is very difficult for the 2 of them to seriously injure Sasuke. Boom. Suddenly the Kusanagi sword in Sasuke's hand erupted, and at the same time as thunder and lightning raged, Kakashi was surprised by Sasuke's superb knife skills. This is the sword technique of the Hitaki family, and it has reached this level in Sasuke's hands. At this moment, a slashing wave formed by lightning strikes out. Kakashi seems to see his father, Hitaki White Fang. Kakashi. At the moment when Kakashi was fascinated, he shot a blow to break Sasuke's chopping wave. Then looked back at Kakashi. What are you doing? If you lose your mind during the battle, this is courting death. However, Kakashi sighed helplessly. I didn't expect that this kid not only cultivated your 8 inner gates to such a terrifying level, but even the Hitaki sword technique I gave him was also cultivated by him to the same level as my father. Realm. Heard. Guy was even more unbelievable this time. Kakashi's father. Who is that? Shikamaru and others may not have heard of it, but Guy knows it very well. The former wooden Yi-Bai teeth. Not to mention Konoha, even in other villages, White Fang is quite a famous character. Hitaki's knife skills. No wonder this kid's knife skills are familiar to me, so you taught him. Kakashi was also very helpless when he was told that, talent. It is really incomprehensible. Look at Sasuke, who is driving the 6th gate and fighting with ninja swords. Guy turned his head and glanced at Kakashi. We haven't fought together for a long time, Kakashi. Hearing this, Kakashi smiled. Yeah. And the opponent is still such a little monster. The two looked at each other. For the two who have been fighting each other for many years, they have long cultivated an extraordinary tacit understanding. With just one look, they understood each other's meaning. Kakashi shot instantly. The quick hands on Mudra. Maybe Kakashi is not as good as Guy in physical skills, but in terms of ninjutsu, Kakashi is definitely far superior to Guy. The level of ninjutsu has also reached cage level. Reikiri. Zzz. Suddenly, the thunder condensed in his hands roared. Kakashi raised his hand in Sasuke's direction. Thunderbeast, chasing Fang. Reikiri's changed form, turned into a wolf form and rushed towards Sasuke. The attack speed is extremely fast. Sasuke stared at the thunder-shaped wolf rushing towards him, and at the same time, he noticed Guy, who quickly circled behind him from the corner of his eye. Facing these two at the same time, the next battle must not be easy. But anyway, let's block Kakashi's ninjutsu attack first. Thunder Breath. One type, Thunderbolt Flash. The blade instantly tore open the air, and Kakashi attacked at the same time. A whirlwind swept behind Sasuke. Guy, who jumped up and fell from above, punched Sasuke's vest hard and fell down. Turn around and look back. Sasuke parried with the blade as fast as he could. When the blade seemed to be hit by metal, making a harsh sound. But in the next second, the ground was shaking. Backquote. Summoning Earth-style Joya technique. Kakashi's voice sounded. Sasuke, who was suppressed by Guy at this moment, felt wonderful. Bang bang bang. Ninja dogs came out one after another from the ground, and rushed towards Sasuke's body. Suppress Sasuke firmly. Under control. Oops. Sasuke raised his head suddenly. Guy's body in front is spinning rapidly, and Kakashi is standing on his lap. Under the acceleration of the spin, Guy exploded with an amazing kick, and directly kicked Kakashi out. The acceleration that Kakashi gained at this moment made people completely stunned. It turns out, can you still cooperate like this? Relying on the acceleration provided by Guy, Kakashi swept straight towards Sasuke with Reikiri in his hand. Even Chio was dazzled by the joint attack of the two. This wave after wave of attacks does not give people a breather at all. Konoha's Kakashi and Might Guy, the two of them really have the strength to kill cage-level ninjas. Especially the combined combat effectiveness. Not to be underestimated. Kakashi, who came rushing through the wind. Super fast speed coupled with the roar of Reikiri in the hands. For a moment, the momentum was huge, as if Sasuke was about to be terminated with a single blow. At this moment, Sand Shinobi, Chio and others couldn't help clenching their teeth. This is a very rare opportunity. Sasuke was under control and had no chance to dodge at all. As long as this blow hits, there is a high probability that Sasuke will be seriously injured even if he does not die. Chio was very pleasantly surprised. She didn't expect Konoha and these two brats to work so hard. It didn't look like there was any water at all. It seems that Konoha is very aware of how much responsibility they have for this matter. When Chio was pleased, Sasuke's expression looked wrong. Looking at Kakashi in the air, Sasuke smiled. If you really want to kill him, you should not use Reikiri, but Kamui. It seems that Kakashi and the others are probably just trying to put on a show. But even if it was just for show, the continuous attacks of these two people really made Sasuke not very bearable. The combination of these two is no worse than a cage-level ninja, and even their combat effectiveness far exceeds that of a cage-level ninja. Coupled with the tacit cooperation, the offensive, which was originally like a storm, seemed even more turbulent. But that wasn't enough to threaten Sasuke. As long as the Kusanagi sword in Sasuke's hand is not lost, it is fully capable of dealing with any attack. Call. He exhaled lightly. At this moment Kakashi keenly captured Sasuke's movement through Sharingan. Can you still use that move in this situation? Whether it can be used or not is no longer a guess. Sasuke has shown Kakashi directly. Thunder breath. 3 types. Mosquitoes gather into thunder. In an instant, the Kusanagi sword in Sasuke's hand seemed to have turned into countless afterimages. Directly waving wildly towards the surroundings, these ninja dogs of Kakashi were all hit by Sasuke's slash in an instant. With the power of the 6th gate, the power of the slash is terrifying. These ninja dogs didn't even have time to make a sound, they turned into a cloud of white smoke and disappeared. And at this moment Kakashi also arrived, and Reikari pierced Sasuke's chest. Turning around and breaking up, the knife directly hit Kakashi's Reikari with the shortest time and most precise posture. Thunder and lightning collided, and the black thunder was once again entangled with the blue thunder. Blocked? Shikamaru was a little frightened. Sasuke was able to react to such an attack at such a speed. Using that inconceivable sword technique made him stunned. No, it's not over yet, Xiao Li said excitedly. Because at this moment his master, Might Guy, rushed towards Sasuke at a terrifying speed. Speed? Up, speed up, speed up. Guy's speed has reached the ultimate that 7th gate can explode, and he jumped directly at a distance of less than 3 meters. With the power of acceleration, he directly kicked Sasuke fiercely. Sasuke blocked Guy's attack with the handle of the knife backhand. While facing Kakashi's Reikari, he also had to prepare to receive Guy's physical shock. 2 forces hit Sasuke at the same time. Beep. When the roar sounded, Sasuke's face obviously became very ugly. At the same time, there was a surge in the abdomen. It is still difficult to face these two at the same time in the 6th gate state. At this time, Kakashi suddenly broke out with chakra fluctuations. This familiar fluctuation made Sasuke stunned for a moment. 8 inner gates? Kakashi actually opened 8 inner gates directly? Isn't it just Sasuke who is dumbfounded at this moment? Even Xiao Li was dumbfounded. Kakashi-sensei also knows 8 inner gates. Although Kakashi knows 8 inner gates, what Kakashi knows is only the 1st gate. It was only able to open the 1st door. After all, he had played against Guy for so many years, even if he didn't learn to read, he would read it. Kakashi, whose strength suddenly increased, backhanded a kunai that directly stuck Sasuke's Kusanagi sword. Make it impossible for Sasuke to draw a knife and get away. Although Guy's foot was barely blocked by Sasuke, but after that, he kept standing on one leg after standing firmly. The right leg kicked wildly towards Sasuke. The legs like raindrops kicked towards Sasuke viciously. One after another, continuous bursts, makes Sasuke's defense much harder. The two pushed Sasuke all the way and kept sliding towards the back. Sasuke can only cross his hands, hand over the Kusanagi sword held in his right hand to his left hand in an instant, and then punch his right fist to resist the attack. Bang bang bang. There was a continuous sound of impact for a while. The three seemed to be in a stalemate. And Sasuke simply uses the strength of the 6th gate to fight against the 7th gate, coupled with the blessing of no strange power. Naturally he is not Guy's opponent. Every collision Sasuke can be said to be injured. However, the battle is extremely fierce when it is in a stalemate. Cluck cluck. A strange voice sounded. At this moment, 2 black shadows appeared behind Sasuke. Who is it? Taking advantage of Sasuke being besieged at this time, actually taking the opportunity to make a move. When the black shadow froze, everyone's eyes widened. Not human? To be precise, they are just 2 puppets. Puppet? Chiyo of Sand Shinobi. At this moment Sasuke thought, Kakashi and Guy also thought. But the situation is urgent. Sasuke has no energy to resist the sneak attack behind him. Just at this very moment. Beep. A sudden explosion exploded behind Sasuke. The 2 puppets were ejected and flew out. Chiyo's decisive blow was blocked by something. Her face was ashen, staring at the area shrouded in smoke in front of her. At this moment, Kakashi and Might Guy also backed away instantly. Pull away from Sasuke. At the same time Sasuke was covered in smoke. In the smoke, came an unfamiliar voice. Master Sasuke, are you alright? Hearing this sentence, the others cheered up one after another. And other ninjas? And it seems that he is still Sasuke's subordinate. This person should have blocked the attack just now. Being able to block the attack of Sand Shinobi Puppet Master Chiyo, this guy is obviously not easy to deal with. I'm fine. I was almost successfully attacked by this despicable old woman. As Sasuke said, the smoke slowly dispersed. The one standing next to Sasuke, Kimimaro. Holding the bone blade in both hands, Kimimaro glared at Chiyo. That gaze seemed to wish to devour Chiyo, but Sasuke just smiled and looked at Chiyo calmly. At the same time, Sasuke heard the sound of the system. Congratulations to host. 8 inner gates level up. 8 inner gates, Xiaocheng, can open the 7th gate. 8 inner gates also break through, not bad. Sasuke raised his eyebrows, just to vent his anger. Everyone's attention is not on Sasuke right now. Instead, they fell on Kimimaro. After all, the sudden appearance, the speed, was so fast that people didn't notice it at all. Simultaneously, he was also able to block Chiyo's attack at a critical moment. This person's strength is not simple. Plus Kimimaro has a more murderous gaze than Sasuke. It makes people feel shuddering just by looking at each other. Is this the other person who invaded Sanagakure? It also looks very strong, Teeth said. Shikamaru on the side exhaled lightly to calm himself down. This kind of aura cannot be described as strong, this guy. I'm afraid his strength is not weaker than Teacher Kakashi and the others. Even strictly speaking, it seems to be a bit stronger than Kakashi and Might Guy. That kind of people. He actually called Sasuke an adult. What the hell is it? Kimimaro. You stand down, I will do it myself. It was said that Kimimaro didn't show any reluctance, but silently nodded and retreated behind Sasuke. This scene shows not only that Sasuke has the absolute right to speak, but also shows that Sasuke is angry. Because of the sneak attack just now, Sasuke was successfully pissed off by Chiyo. Chiyo doesn't plan to watch the battle now. Instead, he directly stood up and controlled the 2 puppets. Although the puppets named Father and Mother were not so special, they were very effective in combat under the control of Chiyo's puppet art. Boy. You are very strong, but don't need that guy's help, you want to deal with the 3 of us alone. It won't be long before you will end up in the same fate as before. But just said here. The momentum on Might Guy dissipated instantly, and the state of 8 inner gates was turned off. He staggered and fell to the ground directly. Everyone present was dumbfounded, and Chiyo was the most speechless. I just said that Sasuke can't deal with 3 people at the same time. Why did this guy suddenly? Konoha probably did it on purpose. And Gaia looked at Chiyo very apologetically. Sorry, I've reached my limit. Guy, who had exited from the 7th gate state, looked dying now, and it didn't seem like he was pretending. He was indeed exhausted, and if he didn't exit the 7th gate state, he might directly cause a permanent and difficult to recover fatal injury. So while Guy is helpless now, he is also glad that he has reached the limit of his body at this time. Otherwise, if we continue to fight, I am afraid it will not end well. Little Sakura, Hinata, treat Guy. Hearing this, the 2 were taken aback for a moment, and then immediately realized that they had come forward to tell Guy the same. Little Sakura has learned medical ninjutsu, while Hinata has already started to touch and explore. With the blessing of supercilious eyes, her mastery of medical ninjutsu is no worse than that of Shaolo. The 2 checked Guy, only to find out suddenly. How come? The bones of the body seem to be cracked. Little Sakura's exclamation was heard. Sasuke said at this time. This is why 8 inner gates is called forbidden technique. If there are no horrible side effects, how can it be classified as a forbidden technique? Chiyo was very angry. Konoha's blue beast, is that all there is to it? What she said made Shaoli a little angry. His teacher has been fighting Sasuke since the beginning. How long does it take to open 8 inner gates? Any other enemies would have been killed long ago. Even if Sasuke is not solved, Sasuke consumes a lot of physical strength, and at the same time can create many crises for Sasuke, not because of the strength of his teacher. This old woman actually said such sarcastic remarks at this time. Suddenly Sasuke sneered. What? Haven't seen enough. Hearing that Chiyo didn't quite understand what Sasuke was trying to express. Kakashi, however, was already starting to feel bad. According to his understanding of Sasuke, then it is likely that Sasuke will surprise everyone next. Then I'll let you continue to take a look. The blue beast is not just this head. 8 inner gates. When Sasuke slowly opened his mouth. Hear Sasuke's voice. Everyone's heart trembled suddenly. This guy wouldn't. 7th gate. Shock. Open. Sasuke spoke very plainly, but his voice was like a thunderbolt bursting in the ears of others. accompanied by a green glow, replaced by blue sweat vapor. Sasuke was bathed in blue light, feeling the explosion of terrifying power brought by the opening of the seventh gate. In an instant, the surrounding ground collapsed again by a height of more than 10 centimeters. And accompanied by a strong and unparalleled gust of wind, Sasuke's aura instantly erupted like a volcano. Overshadow everyone present. Xiao Li even froze in place. Seventh gate. This guy. Isn't the sixth gate already at its limit? Chio asked this question. Boy, you can still open the seventh gate like that kid from Konoha? Didn't you say that sixth gate is already your limit? How could you? The question made Sasuke smile. That's right, I was indeed only able to open the sixth gate just now, this is not a lie. But just now is just now, it doesn't mean now. After fighting with Mr. Guy for so long, even an idiot should learn how to open the seventh gate. I was able to open the seventh gate, is it hard to understand? Fit. Kakashi. Guy showed an awkward smile. The corner of Xiao Li's mouth twitched crazily, and his whole body was shaking. Tien looked at Xiao Li's strange appearance suspiciously. Li. What's wrong with you? Were you hurt by the aftermath just now? Xiao Li is now roaring crazily in his heart. You should also learn what an idiot is. Do you really think that everyone is a pervert like you? That is the seventh gate of the 8 inner gates. Mastering the seventh gate means basically being able to open the 8th gate. So the 8 inner gates to the 6th gate is a watershed. If you can't meet the requirements, basically don't want to open the 7th gate for the rest of your life. And what about Sasuke? It's just that I watched Mr. Guy's 7th gate, and after fighting with Mr. Guy for a while, I opened the 7th gate directly. He actually met directly. This person. His talent now makes Xiao Li a little envious. Xiao Li. Damn. Why don't I have such a talent? At this moment, Sasuke doesn't know the roar in Xiao Li's heart. But a little excited. The power brought by the startled door is completely different. It's really strong. Saying that, Sasuke looked at Might Guy. From today onwards, there will be more than just one wolf and beast. Isn't it just a blue beast from now on? Hearing Sasuke's statement, Guy's greatest feeling at the moment is that he seems to have a successor. Although 8 inner gates passed to Xiao Li, he was also very satisfied. Having such an outstanding disciple as Sasuke makes him even more proud. And the meaning of Sasuke's words is indeed to admit Guy's teacher status. Although Sasuke didn't want to learn any physical skills such as Peacock or Day Tiger. But Sasuke did approve of Guy's kindness. HMPH. What a blue beast, it's just a technique that overloads the body. The power gained in exchange is only temporary. Chio seems to be very dissatisfied with Guy's sudden loss of combat effectiveness. So much so that he looks down on 8 inner gates. This sentence not only made Guy a little bit slightly angry, but Kakashi and Sasuke were also very upset now. Especially Sasuke. The power of the 8 inner gates. Old women like you can't understand. But don't worry, I'll let you feel the power of the 8 inner gates right now. Saying that, a murderous intent flickered in Sasuke's eyes instantly. You have seen more than the power of the 8 inner gates, and you should be grateful for that. After I master the power of Jingmen, you are the first enemy. For a moment, the murderous aura released from Sasuke's body was very terrifying. So much so that the surrounding temperature seems to suddenly drop by more than 10 degrees, and the exhaled breath can instantly turn into a white mist. Chio felt the strange momentum crazily oppressing her. Even she feels inexplicably afraid now, but Chio will not admit that she is suppressed by such a brat's aura. Immediately burst into a bastard. Very good, boy, let me show you now, Sand Shinobi's puppetry is amazing. No matter what kind of armor you use, the puppet trap is not weaker than any forbidden technique. And at this moment Sasuke's voice sounded, Thunder Breath. One type. Hearing Sasuke muttering something, Chio didn't pay attention at all. His eyes locked on Sasuke, and he directly controlled the 2 puppets with the chakra silk thread, and quickly double-teamed towards Sasuke from left to right. The reason why puppet masters are difficult to deal with is because of these annoying puppets. While the means of puppet attack are unpredictable, the puppeteer can also control the puppet not only with chakra through the chakra thread. At the same time, it can also fill the golem with chakra. To achieve the release of specific ninjutsu, are directly used to enhance the attack version of the puppet. While the puppet was damaged, the puppet master was unharmed. But, as far as the puppet master is concerned, once the puppet is destroyed, it is equivalent to being interrupted with both hands and feet. And now, Sasuke raised his head and opened his eyes. In his eyes, the figures of the two puppets were locked by Sasuke. A flash of thunder. Two companies. Bass. Suddenly a piercing roar sounded, and Sasuke's figure disappeared directly. Then the black thunder seemed to appear suddenly, and then passed through the first puppet. The father puppet exploded instantly, and then the second thunder burst out, passing through the mother puppet. The two puppets burst apart instantly. Boom, boom. Two consecutive bursts sounded. Sasuke stood directly in front of Chiyo, with the Kusanagi sword already in his waist. Just standing quietly at a distance of less than 2 meters and looking at Chiyo. This distance. For the puppeteer, it is almost equal to death. If a puppeteer makes the ninja approach 2 meters away from him, and the puppet is still destroyed, it is equivalent to death. Chiyo looked at Sasuke in shock, just now. She didn't react at all. One word. Quick. Sasuke's speed was so fast that she couldn't react at all. She doesn't understand why Sasuke is so fast. That's the power of 8 inner gates. The Sasuke who opened the 7th gate is several times faster than the Sasuke who opened the 6th gate before. At such a speed, she had absolutely no time to react. The strength is also increased to be scary. One strike. It's just a single blow. And easily broke her puppet. These two puppets were puppets she specially prepared for the scorpion, and they were destroyed by Sasuke today. Protect Chiyo-sama. The Sand Shinobi surrounded Chiyo and raised their kunai or shurikens at Sasuke. Although these Sand Shinobi Jonin were handpicked, it was nothing more than a one-hit thing to Sasuke. It's so easy to kill these guys, but Sasuke didn't make a move. Instead, he silently looked at Chiyo. How does it feel now? What about the power of the 8 inner gates? Saying that, Sasuke acted like, if you don't think it's enough, I'll continue to make you feel deeply. Chiyoichi didn't know how to go back. If he continues to be stubborn, he may not die in the next second, and these Sand Shinobi who protect him will also die. Looking at Sasuke who easily shocked Chiyo, Kakashi sighed. 8 inner gates, the 7th gate is in the hands of Sasuke, and the power that erupts seems to be more terrifying than Guy, who was said to be receiving treatment, smiled instead. 8 inner gates and that strange ninjutsu seem to have a wonderful effect. The power of 8 gate is brought out perfectly by this ninjutsu, even better than the ones I created, and perfectly fit. At this moment, Guy even felt that maybe 8 gate was born for this. At this time, there was a rustling sound in the forest. Sasuke frowned slightly. Then the sound became louder and louder. The sound of dense footsteps emerged from all directions. At this moment, a smile appeared on Chiyo's face. Finally here, boy. Aren't you very arrogant? Now I want to see how you escape. Speaking of a large group of Sand Shinobi appearing from all directions, within the range that is almost visible to the naked eye, there are all traces of Sand Shinobi on the trees and ground. Kakashi looked around. Did Sand Shinobi secretly dispatch so many Sand Shinobi? But at this time, Sasuke didn't show any changes and remained calm. Facing Sand Shinobi, which is crowded with people in a blink of an eye. Sasuke looked in a certain direction. What? Still want to continue watching the show? Don't plan to come down to play with these people? Finished. In less than 3 seconds, 2 figures suddenly appeared behind Sasuke. The battle just now was really exciting. It's surprising that the body can be so sleepy. Mr. Sasuke. Humph. The voices of the two sounded. At this time, Chiyo, Kakashi, Guy and others were all stunned. There is and a companion. And if they dare to appear in the face of such a situation, these two people. I'm afraid. It's not easy. Look at the clothes they are wearing. Obviously they are all from the same organization. The black robes are matched with the pattern of red clouds. While it looks full of mystery, it also adds a touch of blood. It makes people feel inexplicably terrified when they look at it. But at this moment, it seems that because of the large number of ninja troops from Sand Shinobi, this feeling is not obvious. But carefully feel that the chakra fluctuations of the two are not weak. Although only from the perspective of chakra fluctuations, it is not considered a shadow-level powerhouse. But definitely comparable to elite Jonin. And judging from the murderous aura of the two, they are ninjas who have experienced countless killings. Combat power. Absolutely ferocious. Senior. These are all from Sanagakure. Do you want to fight today? Listening to Deidara's words, Scorpio looked at Chiyo in front of him, didn't know what he was thinking, and then said, maybe today. I don't need to take action. This made Deidara think that Scorpion meant that he could solve these people by himself. Deidara smiled. Senior trusts me so much. Then I must not let Senior down. Saying that, Deidara pulled out her hands, ready to detonate the clay. Ready to start his art show. Chiyo looks at Sasuke now, and doesn't care about Deidara and Scorpion at all, although she seems to be very familiar with Scorpion. But now Chiyo, the focus is on Sasuke. Give me a hand and kill this Konoha's rebellious ninja with all his strength. He has activated 8 inner gates. Although his fighting power is very strong, he won't last long. Chiyo glanced at Might Guy who was lying beside him, unable to move. Once he stretches to the limit, he will lose all his combat power in an instant. At that time, the only thing he can do is to die. Guy frowned. It seemed that Chiyo was planning to drag Sasuke to death. But the question is, will Sasuke let her get what she wants so easily? During the period when Sasuke can maintain the 8 inner gates, whether Chiyo can survive is probably a question. Besides, if Sasuke wants to escape, I'm afraid. The people here can't stop him at all. What's more, there is a cage-level powerhouse, Kimimaro, waiting beside him, and now the opponent has 2 more powerful reinforcements. Although Sand Shinobi mobilized a large number of ninja troops this time, it is even impossible to estimate how many there are. But trying to catch or kill Sasuke is still too difficult. While Guy was thinking, suddenly Sasuke's aura weakened. The state of the 8 inner gates, closed by Sasuke. Exit from 7th gate. Sasuke staggered and almost fell to the ground just like Guy. Seeing Chiyo's eyes shining here, not only Chiyo, but almost all the Sand Shinobi who came here looked at Sasuke's weak appearance. All very excited. It seems that Chiyo really didn't lie to them. This guy really can't do it. It seems that the 8 inner gates consumed a lot of energy for him, and he should be powerless to fight now. Take advantage of this opportunity to kill him. Everyone is ready to do it. The Sand Shinobi troops began to gather in an instant, and they made a good battle plan in time to make their actions look orderly. Rows of Sand Shinobi stood up and started making seals at the same time. Even if Sasuke is in a weak state, no one dares to rush forward and directly engage in close combat with Sasuke. Little Sakura, who is treating Guy, is now looking at Sasuke-kun. Run away. Facing so many Sand Shinobi like this, another fierce battle has just ended. In this weakened state, it is impossible to defeat so many Sand Shinobi. However, Sasuke has no intention of running away. Even Kimimaro didn't step up to help Sasuke. Just silently looking at Sasuke on the spot, because Sasuke didn't speak. He was well aware that this was far from Sasuke's limit. Even now Sasuke looks weak. Now it's finally our turn to take revenge, destroy our village, take our Jinchuriki, and kill our Lady Jonin Baki. Uchiha Sasuke, Sand Shinobi village wants your blood today. Fire style. Prepare to. More than a dozen ninjas completed the seal at the same time. With so many ninjas releasing a kind of ninjutsu at the same time, even the most simple C-level ninjutsu is far more powerful than S-level ninjutsu. Even Kakashi stepped back a little so as not to be affected. Fire style. Boom. The flames that swept over instantly spread from all directions almost instantly, and all those that hit Sasuke swept towards Sasuke's position. The flames lit up the entire forest, and the weak Sasuke panted heavily, looking at the rolling flames. The corners of Sasuke's mouth rose slightly. Weak? That just means that I can't use taijutsu and ninjutsu for a short period of time, but it doesn't mean that I have no fighting power. The 3 Tomo in Sharingan rotate rapidly, and the rapid derivative changes into new patterns. Mangekyo Sharingan, open. At this moment, Sasuke opened his eyes. The pupil power erupted instantly, and an invisible shock wave spread out, blocking the flame for a moment. Immediately afterwards, a purple light burst out. Strange skeletons appeared around Sasuke. At the same time, the impact sounded. Shikamaru and the others were silent for an instant. From the way Mr. Guy looks, you can see what it will be like to quit the state of 8 inner gates. Being hit by such a ninjutsu in this situation, what will happen to? Why don't Sasuke's companions do it? Neji looked at Kimimaro, Scorpion and Deidara who were indifferent. Obviously their companions were attacked, but they seemed to be watching a show instead. These people are so cold-blooded that they didn't even say anything to help. I sighed every day. Something seemed wrong with the explosion of flames, however. Kakashi smiled. Because either they don't care if Sasuke lives or dies, or, they don't need to help. Don't need to help? What's the meaning? Sasuke is like that, does he still have the ability to resist? Suddenly the flames spread. Sasuke is intact, with a pair of scarlet eyes with extremely strange patterns, making people feel as if their minds have been violently shaken at a glance. And the defense transformed by the strange skeleton lingering around Sasuke, the chest Sasuke firmly guards his subjects. This moment. All Sand Shinobi, Kakashi and others around were stunned. And Shie and Deidara showed such a look in their eyes. Scorpion. Same as Itachi, this kid can also use this move. But there seems to be some difference in color. Deidara. This is almost perfect art. The power of Mangekyo Sharingan from the Uchiha clan's blood successor Genkai. What is this? This thing blocked our attack. Purple bones, what is this? I've never seen it before. This defensive power is simply terrifying. Even the joint ninjutsu attack of so many of us can't break through. For ninjas meeting Susanoo for the first time. Sasuke's power is too amazing. And Sasuke himself is still pale, looking like he might be blown down by the wind at any moment. Have to say, the degree of physical damage after opening the 7th gate is indeed great. Even if Sasuke has now activated the ability of Muji healing, the speed of recovery is not particularly fast. Maybe it's because Sage Mode is not turned on. But if Sasuke's state is not restored now, he will not be able to activate Sage Mode. In other words, it is an endless loop, because the physical condition is too poor to turn on Sage Mode, and because Sage Mode is not turned on, the self-healing ability provided by wood-style cells is very slow. However, although the speed is a little slower, it should be able to recover fairly well in just a few minutes. However, at this moment, a warm current suddenly came from his chest. This warm current is all too familiar to Sasuke. Senjutsu chakra. Sasuke froze. How can there be a fairy chakra flowing out here? Is it a reverse scale? Does Nylon have the ability to store the magic chakra? With the blessing of Shanshu chakra, Sasuke's recovery speed has been significantly accelerated. After a few breaths, Sasuke's face became ruddy visible to the naked eye. And watching Sasuke's change, Kakashi felt incredible at first. How is it possible? Also with 8 inner gates enabled, how could Sasuke regain weight so quickly? Sasuke. Do you have any special secrets? Also surprised were Guy and Xiao Li. When Sasuke's breathing gradually became full of strength, the chakra fluctuations also returned to normal in just a few seconds. The two are also taijutsu ninjas practicing 8 inner gates, their eyes widened in disbelief. Little Sakura and the others felt that Sasuke seemed to be changing very quickly. Even though he had used a technique that was extremely burdensome to his body, it didn't seem to have any effect. However, the actual situation is not like this at all. Even if Sasuke's physique uses 8 inner gates, there is a great burden. It's just that because of the rapid healing of the body, the 8 inner gates, which could have caused permanent damage, are safe for Sasuke as long as the 8th gate is not open. Chio. This kid. Y seems to have recovered all of a sudden. The purple skeleton should be his Sharingan power. Uchiha's Mangekyo Sharingan. Tashiro still knows a little bit. After all, they had also heard of a man's name in those days. Uchiha. Madara. As for how powerful Uchiha's Mangekyo Sharingan is, naturally there is no need to say more. Sasuke's recovery is a nightmare for Chio and other Sanagakure ninjas. Even after Sasuke's complexion recovered, these Sand Shinobi retreated involuntarily at the same time. Sasuke moved his neck and looked around. It's really troublesome to use physical jutsu to fight. Although the power is good, it is more convenient to use ninjutsu to deal with a large number of enemies. Saying that, Sasuke put away Susanoo, as if ready to start. And this time Kakashi couldn't bear it anymore. Sasuke. How did you do it? Why were you able to overcome the side effects so quickly after you activated the 8th gate? Hearing this, Sasuke froze for a moment. Is there? Saying that, Sasuke looked at Guy who was receiving treatment. Isn't what I do the same as Mr. Guy? Same? Everyone froze for a moment. What do you mean? Guy is being healed to reduce 8 gates damage to his body, and Sasuke did the same thing as Might Guy, so does that mean Sasuke healed himself? But what kind of treatment can achieve this effect? Little Sakura suddenly thought of Tsunade. Except for Mr. Tsunade's ninja art, meiotic regeneration, there is probably no other technique in this world that can heal injuries so quickly in a blink of an eye. If the damage of the 8 inner gates is treated quickly enough, then basically the problem of permanent damage to the body after use has been overcome. Sasuke said lightly. But this sentence exploded in Guy's mind like a thunderbolt. He knows what Sasuke means. If you can receive the best treatment immediately after using 8 inner gates, then the side effects of 8 inner gates will be infinitely reduced. Turn a deadly forbidden technique into a regular physical skill that can be used at any time. And the only condition is to receive the best treatment as soon as possible after exposure. But just now Sasuke was obviously alone. Could it be that Sasuke? Thinking of this, Guy's gaze toward Sasuke became more complicated. Rejoice, appreciate, rejoice. A genius is a genius, to be able to think of such a solution to the problem. Damn. Even if you used some special method to restore it, so what? These sand shinobi are carefully selected. The team is specially formed to deal with you, Uchiha's little devil. No matter what you do today, don't even think about escaping. Chiyo is now at the bottom of the boat, and thought that Sasuke's current state was the best chance to kill him. But I didn't expect Sasuke to have such an amazing method. In the blink of an eye, he recovered directly from his weak state. This is simply unheard of. But things have come to this point. Even if you bite the bullet, you can only go up. Following Chiyo's order, the sand shinobi who had been prepared all around stepped forward one after another. It seems that they plan to jointly perform some ninjutsu to deal with Sasuke, but the corner of Sasuke's mouth is slightly raised in the next second. Although I still have the energy to play with you, but this time I have had my best time. Goodbye. Chiyo. Do you think you can walk if you want? Sasuke turned around and glanced at Kimimaro, and at the same time heard Chiyo's words. Sasuke looked back at this moment. Mangekyo Sharingan flashed a red light machine. Maybe you can try to stop me. After saying that, Sasuke jumped up and left directly, but at this time Chiyo was stunned. Why don't you attack? You're all in. Looking back, Chiyo suddenly found that the dozens of sand shinobi ninjas who were ready to fight had all fallen into a state of sluggishness. Kakashi. They're all under the illusion. Saying that, Kakashi looked towards the direction Sasuke left. What a terrible Sharingan, the power of illusion is also so amazing, just looking at it. So many sand shinobi are all hit. One glance, let so many people fall into the illusion at the same time. Chiyo felt a strong sense of powerlessness. Never facing any enemy would make her feel such an experience. It seems that no matter what you do, there is always no way for the other party. Uchiha Sasuke. This guy is simply the monster of monsters. Sand shinobi probably shouldn't be making an enemy of someone like that. But although Sasuke is gone, Deidara and Scorpion are still here. Deidara was speechless. This guy won't fight anymore. With so many enemies, doesn't he want to kill them all? I also want to take a good look at Susanoo's power. Hearing this, Shie on the side snorted coldly. It seems that you really want to continue fighting? Deidara. Of course, I haven't done it in a long time. Shie turned around. Then I will leave these people to you to deal with. The excited Deidara suddenly became discouraged like an eggplant. He looked at Shie helplessly. Senior, do you intend to let me deal with so many people alone? Ah. I don't want to do it either. If you want to do it, you can do it yourself. Of course I hope you can survive in the end. Glancing at the number of enemies in front of him, Deidara's forehead broke out in cold sweat. It would be okay if it was just these sand shinobi, but there is also a Hitaki Kakashi of Konoha, and a group of little ghosts of Konoha. Although they are little ghosts, their abilities are also very special. Fighting with so many enemies seems to be looking for courting death. Senior, wait for me. If you don't fight, I won't fight anymore. Let's leave quickly. The mission is important. Saying that, Deidara and Scorpion left in a big white bird. And at this time, Chiyo didn't have the heart to chase these people anymore. Sasuke's last illusion before the Zero Walk just now shocked her. If I had used this illusion on her when I was fighting her, I'm afraid she would be dead by now. Such a monster appeared in the ninja world. Master Chiyo, the body of Lord Gaara was found in the cave. He was very happy to hear that Gaara Chiyo was found, but when he heard that it was a corpse, all sand shinobi were silent. One-tailed Jin Churiki died? However, Chiyo sighed silently and walked into the cave. At this moment Kakashi looked at Seijo, thinking about the fight just now. He turned to look at the Howling Might guy. This crusade was undoubtedly a failure. The S-rank mission to defeat Uchiha Sasuke was declared a failure, and Kakashi felt that it was necessary to re-report in detail about Uchiha Sasuke to Hokage-sama. Comprehensive report of real strength. The orphan of Uchiha, the genius of Konoha, in just a few months. Genin, who has graduated from a ninja school, has successfully grown into one of the best in the ninja world. Gymnastics. 8 inner gates cooperate with Breath of Thunder. The former is recognized as a powerful taboo physical technique, and once the 8th gate is opened, it will gain dozens of times more power than Hokage. The latter is one of the Sannin Master Jiraiya personally identified, not losing to 8 gates ninjutsu. But now the combination of the two body skills, the power that erupts is even more astonishing. As far as physical skills are concerned, I am afraid that there is no one in the entire ninja world. Ninjutsu. Needless to say, Sasuke's ninjutsu talent has long been demonstrated, and any ninjutsu can be easily learned by just watching it once. Cooperate with Sasuke's Sharingan, and it is also Mangekyo Sharingan. If it weren't for Sasuke, he doesn't like to copy other people's ninjutsu to use. I'm afraid copying the name of the ninja should be handed over to Sasuke. Just Sasuke's level of ninjutsu before is comparable to Kage-level ninja, let alone now. Illusion. With just one glance, dozens of Sand Shinobi's elites were all under the illusion in an instant. Even Jonin Yuhihong, who specializes in illusion in Konoha, can't match this kind of illusion. Such a ninja. It's hard to believe why he can reach such a tyrannical level in so many different fields at the same time. And the most astonishing thing among them is that according to the intelligence that Tsunagakure sent this time, Sasuke, with 5 series of chakra, even each chakra nature transformation is amazing. It seems to be a replica of the previous 3rd Hokage. No. Maybe even more amazing than Lord 3rd Hokage. A renegade even scarier than Orochimaru, renegade beyond Kage-level strength appeared. Future ninja world. Perhaps for a long time all ninjas will be shrouded in Sasuke's shadow. A man more terrifying than ever. Uchiha Madara. Has descended upon the ninja world. Konoha. Tsunade put down the report from Kakashi in the office. In addition to notifications about task failures, there is also the case of Tsunagakure. And the follow-up issue of Konoha's compensation to Sand Shinobi. First of all, Sand Shinobi's one-tailed Jinchuriki, Gaara died, but was revived by Chiyo's forbidden technique at the cost of his life. But Tsunagakure also lost the one tail. As the first village to lose its tailed beast, it is also one of the 5 great nations. This matter definitely won't just be left alone, and at the same time, the subsequent turmoil will not be small. Secondly, a mysterious organization also appeared in this Sasuke incident, although it is not known what this organization does. But about Akatsuki. Has already begun to enter everyone's field of vision. Even now all the villages don't even know Xiao's name. As for the investigation of this matter, Tsunade can only ask Jiraiya, who is teaching Naruto's practice at Mount Myoboku. After all, Jiraiya seems to be investigating Akatsuki all these years. Finally, an intelligence analysis about Sasuke. Kakashi suggested that this analysis be sent to various ninja villages, hoping that they would be careful about Sasuke, and at the same time publish Sasuke's information. It also avoids that if Sasuke really attacks other ninja villages again in the future, Konoha will have something to say. Shikajiu, let someone announce Sasuke's information to the entire ninja world. A ninja beyond Kage-level strength, a man comparable to the legendary Uchiha Madara, is no longer something a village like Konoha can handle. Hearing that Lu Ju frowned deeply, the announcement of this information will mean that Konoha will lose a considerable amount of prestige in the entire ninja world. But I have to do it. At the same time, the entire ninja world will probably be boiling. A man comparable to the legendary Uchiha Madara, and this ninja is only 12 or 13 years old now. An existence beyond Kage level, just like the man in the legend. Cloud Shinobi Village 4th Raikage looked at the information in front of him with a sneer. A 12-year-old kid, let Konoha comment like this. It seems that Konoha is indeed not as good as before. If you fail the crusade mission, do you attribute everything to the fact that the enemy is too strong? What Konoha's blue monster? What copy ninja Hitaki Kakashi? It seems that even a kid can't deal with it. Saying that, Raikage looked at Mabui, who was on the side. Konoha is still weak. Hearing this, Mabui sighed. It seems that Kage-sama still hasn't given up the idea of attacking Konoha. Master Raikage, but now is not the best time. Konoha's 5th Hokage succeeded in succeeding, although Cloud Shinobi can find an excuse, saying that Konoha's Hokage has a bad name. At the same time, the daimyo of the Land of Fire also complained about Konoha village. But the best opportunity has been missed. Who knew that Konoha would solve the civil strife so quickly? This is something that all ninja villages did not expect. Otherwise, who would dare to attack Konoha rashly? But Raikage seems to be brooding over the matter, regretting his indecisiveness at the beginning. But it's useless to regret such a thing. Although this information, the old man thinks it's exaggerated, but that kid from Konoha, Grandmaster Wudu Ninjutsu. I'm afraid this has something to do with Konoha's sealed book. If you have the chance, you must catch this brat and take Konoha's sealed book. With the sealed book, the strength of Cloud Shinobi Village will be greatly strengthened. At that time, it was much easier to talk about attacking Konoha than it is now. Fourth Raikage has also been planned in mind. But this matter is difficult for Mabui. Uchiha Sasuke is probably not exaggerating, but just like Konoha said, it is a heavenly group in the ninja world for hundreds of years. Genius of geniuses. Now she even wants to see what this talented ninja looks like. Is there really such a terrifying talent? And Sasuke, who is being thought of by Mabui at the moment. On the way to Cloud Shinobi Village, and there are Deidara and Scorpion in the same company. Kimimaro also followed, but with the strength of these two, it was impossible to perceive the fluctuation of the tailbeast chakra, which was sealed by Sasuke layer by layer. And Kimimaro also seems to be very strong, which makes Deidara and Shie very concerned. There is such a person besides Sasuke. This guy's strength is completely enough to join the Akatsuki organization. But now the Akatsuki organization is full. At this moment, Sasuke didn't care how the two of them observed Kimimaro, but looked at his own system. The three abilities required by the mission. Physique, Chakra Control, Illusion. Two of them have now been done. Physique and Chakra Control have been upgraded to Ultimate Tier. Now the last ability is missing, Illusion. For the improvement of Illusion, Sasuke has two ideas. One is to rely on Sharingan's practice to continuously advance. In this way, perhaps with the increase of pupil power, the power of illusion can be strengthened, leading to an increase in the level of illusion. Another idea is to go straight through the fight. But the opponent must be strong enough, and at the same time Sasuke should use illusion to fight the enemy as much as possible. Only in this way can the level of pupil technique be raised quickly. But it's not easy. It may not take a lot of time for illusion to break through to the ultimate level. It's not as simple as breaking through the body technique. But for the opponent, there is a very good candidate now. 8 Tails Jinchuriki Killer Bee. Illusion is useless to Jinchuriki, because Jinchuriki has two different sources of chakra in his body. When the illusion affects chakra in Jinchuriki's body, it will be destroyed by the chakra of the tailed beast. Therefore, it is difficult to successfully perform illusions, or in other words, it is impossible to successfully perform them. But this does not prevent 8 Tails Jinchuriki from practicing breakthrough illusion. But this time, I'm afraid it will take a long time. However, no matter how long it takes, with Sasuke's talent, it probably won't last more than a day. So if I can let 8 Tails Jinchuriki accompany me to practice illusion for a whole day, then illusion breakthrough will be no problem. And once the illusion breaks through, the last attribute, chakra, Yangdan chakra, can be awakened smoothly. Chakra Sasuke with all attributes including yin and yang attributes will have them all. In this way, maybe even yin-yang bun can be used directly. Thinking of this, Sasuke was a little excited. And defeating 8 Tails can also complete Fate Event 2 incidentally. Awaken more Indra Chakra. Wait until Indra Chakra is fully awakened. Sasuke's Mangekyo Sharingan also has a chance to evolve into a Rinnegan. In one day, it is impossible for Cloud Shinobi Village not to find out. At that time, the number of ninjas who will come to disturb Sasuke's battle may be quite large. At this time, it is necessary to distract them a little bit. Sasuke turned his head to look at Deidara and Scorpion. These two can be used as bait. These two are targeting the Orway Jinchuriki. Cloud Shinobi's two-tailed Jinchuriki was attacked, and Cloud Shinobi Village was also restless. So, let's part here. Sasuke stopped suddenly. Hearing Sasuke's words, Deidara was a little puzzled. Separate? Don't Mr. Sasuke want to join us in capturing Orway? Ah. I thought so at first, but now, I want to challenge a higher difficulty. Challenge higher difficulty. Deidara froze for a moment and then looked a little dignified. Sasuke-kun, are you? Sasuke, have you guessed it? Want to challenge Cloud Shinobi Village movie? Fourth Raikage is in the prime of life, and his strength is very strong. He won the title of Blue Lightning in the ninja world before. I'm afraid it's not the right choice to challenge him, especially in a place like Cloud Shinobi Village. Well, the guy wasn't even thinking about 8 Tails. But it's also good. How do you know if you don't try? It's just right. I can also help you to distract yourself a bit. Wouldn't it be good to keep talking? This can be regarded as assistance. When Yangzia thought it was very good, so the pressure on his side would be much less. It's just that he feels that Sasuke probably doesn't want to challenge Raikage but has another goal. But what Sasuke's goal is, Scorpion didn't understand for a while. After all, no one would have thought that Sasuke would attack Eight Tails. The Eight Tails Jinchuriki is not weak, and it is not something anyone can easily win if they want to win. Looking at Deidara, he had nothing to say, and Scorpion just looked at himself silently. Sasuke turned to look at Kimimaro and the two walked towards the other side. This place has just stepped into the border of the Kingdom of Thunder. There is still a long way to go before Cloud Shinobi Village, but Sasuke asked to split up at this time. Let the Scorpion obviously feel that something is not quite right. But Sasuke can't be the enemy anyway, after all, they have already fought Konoha in front of them, and were almost besieged by Sanagakure's ninja troops. These things cannot be faked. It is true that Sasuke cannot be a member of the ninja village of the Five Great Nations, but there is no guarantee that Sasuke will not do some amazing things. But thinking of this, Scorpion felt a little sensitive. Even if Sasuke turned Cloud Shinobi Village upside down, it doesn't seem to have much to do with him. The person who should have the headache of should be the Cloud Shinobi Village movie, or it should be Pen's headache. It has nothing to do with him. Hey, senior, don't you care? Just let him go? Hearing the words, Scorpion was a little speechless. What? Do you want to do something else? Didn't you agree to catch your way together? How can you let Sasuke go like this? Otherwise, what else do you want to do? Of course, let him go with us to deal with the Two Tails. Senior Sasuke's blood successor boundary. I want to study and understand it even in my dreams. Deidara still can't forget the scene of being killed by Itachi with illusion. So much so that he figured out a way to restrain the illusion so that he would no longer be affected by the illusion. Now that Sasuke is gone, Deidara is of course very reluctant. But Chie glanced at him indifferently. If you don't want him to go, call him yourself. Forehead. Deidara didn't dare. If Sasuke's strength made the other party unhappy a little, the consequences would be very serious. Forget it then. This answer made Scorpio burst into anger. This guy took one senior at a time, and seemed to respect himself very much, but he was actually a jerk. Want to use yourself to achieve your own goals. None of Akatsuki's organization is a good thing. Scorpion looked at Deidara with disgust. Sasuke and Kimimaro, who have already left at the moment, are rushing to Cloud Shinobi Village quickly. And it won't be long before Deidara and Scorpion. After all, they could just sit on the big bird and fly towards Cloud Shinobi Village. Traveling in the air is much faster than traveling on land. However, Sasuke and Kimimaro speeded up a little bit, and they can probably guarantee that they will arrive at Cloud Shinobi Village at the same time as Deidara and others. The reason why they didn't act together to Cloud Shinobi Village and then separated was that Sasuke wanted to reduce unnecessary troubles. If these two guys find out that their target is Eight Tails, I'm afraid it will be bad. Master Sasuke, are you really going to challenge the fourth Raikage? Challenge fourth Raikage? Sasuke smiled, of course not. Hearing this, Kimimaro also showed such an expression, although he couldn't tell whether Sasuke was lying or not. But he instinctively felt that Sasuke's goal in going to Cloud Shinobi Village would definitely not be fourth Raikage. Then Sasuke-sama, our goal is Eight Tails Jinchuriki, brother of Killer Bee, fourth Raikage. Kimimaro wasn't too surprised to hear Sasuke's real target. Just curious why Sasuke wanted to deal with Eight Tails Jinchuriki. But there is no need to ask about this kind of thing. What Sasuke-sama does is not important to Kimimaro. Just tell the target what it is. Kimimaro didn't continue to ask. Sasuke smiled. I thought you would continue to ask me, why are you going to deal with Eight Tails? Kimimaro didn't speak. However, Sasuke was silent for a while and continued, maybe it's fate. I'm destined to have a fight with Eight Tails Jinchuriki, so I'm going. It's such a ridiculous explanation, but Kimimaro firmly believes it. Then what does Master Sasuke need me to do? Sasuke glanced at Kimimaro. Said very solemnly, there is only one thing that needs you to do, don't let anyone bother me until I finish solving Eight Tails. Hearing this, Kimimaro's blood boiled instantly. To deal with Eight Tails Jinchuriki, the movement may not be too small. Once discovered, the huge Cloud Shinobi Village does not know how many powerful ninjas will come. When the time comes, it will be your responsibility to stop them. Maybe even meet the fourth Raikage. How can Kimimaro not be excited under such circumstances? Sasuke-sama, please rest assured and leave it to me. As he said that, Kimimaro actually showed a look of eagerness to try. Sasuke looked a little confused. As expected, he is a member of the Wei Yoruichi tribe, and his warlike genes are deeply rooted in his bones. But before we start, we need to do one more thing. What's up? Kimimaro asked. Sasuke smiled. Certainly divert Cloud Shinobi Village's attention. Transfer. Kimimaro seemed to know what Sasuke was going to do, but I'm afraid those two guys would have a hard time. Maybe it will be killed by Cloud Shinobi Village. After all, Cloud Shinobi is not as weak as Sanagakure, and Cloud Shinobi Village is the most powerful ninja village in the entire ninja world, except for Konoha. Number. The current situation of Konoha is not as good as going to Hidden Village. After entering Cloud Shinobi Village, you go and spread the news that our Wei Jinchuriki is being targeted. Then we'll go find 8 tails. Kimimaro nodded. Understood. The two continued to speed up their pace towards the location of Cloud Shinobi Village. One day, head to Cloud Shinobi Village. At this moment, Deidara and Scorpion also appeared at the other end of the village at the same time. The target of the two of them is Erwei, and they have already obtained information before coming here. Where is the specific location of Erwei Jinchuriki? And what they have to do is to lure Erwei Jinchuriki out of Cloud Shinobi Village, and then they can do it. Otherwise, with Deidara's ability and the Scorpion's puppet, it's not a good plan to provoke the entire Cloud Shinobi Village. However, the plan encountered an accident from the very beginning. First, there are many ninjas around Erwei Jinchuriki. After killing these ninjas, surrounded unexpectedly, the reaction speed of these Cloud Shinobi ninjas was beyond their imagination. Facing Erwei Jinchuriki plus at least a dozen Cloud Shinobi's Jonin, this lineup is not so easy to break through. Scorpion looked at the enemies around him. His expression changed rapidly. What's going on? That bad premonition, does it refer to this moment?